And coming up next on ESPN, our Sunday night game of the week, Atlanta and St. Louis. Also updates throughout on the Mets-Dodgers game. John and Joe, take it away from St. Louis.
Okay, Bill, now, in our 9th season, it's ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. From Busch Stadium, it's the Braves, led by slugger Andres Galarraga, going up against the Cardinals and the 54-home run man, Big Mac Mark McGwire. Welcome to Busch Stadium, and tonight it's the Cardinals and the Atlanta Braves in the ESPN Sunday Night Baseball Game of the Week. I'm John Miller, and welcome to our telecast as we've got the Braves going with their rookie Kevin Millwood against the St. Louis Cardinals left-hander Donovan Osborne. And the home run chase right now, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and Ken Griffey Jr. Griffey hit 2 today, and Sosa hit 1, so he and McGwire are tied for first, each with 54, as McGwire goes into play tonight. And I'm John Miller, again with Joe Morgan. Welcome to our telecast. And Joe, Mark McGwire, I mean, he's doing it all. He's making it look easy. I mean, what makes him so tough?
Well, John, in my opinion, there are 2 things that separates him from the other sluggers. First and foremost, he hits the ball farther than anyone else. Secondly, he does not have to have a mistake to hit a home run. Let's take a look here. This is where a guy like Tom Glavine pitches McGwire. This is the box. He pitches him perfectly off the plate. Look at that. That ball is out of the strike zone away, a changeup low and away, and McGwire is still able to hit the ball out of the ballpark. That's what separates him from the other sluggers. Everyone else sits and waits for a pitcher to make a mistake, and then they hit the ball out of the ballpark. You can make a great pitch on McGwire, and he will still hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Indeed. Now, the Atlanta Braves are the great, powerful home run hitting team. And the Atlanta Braves have hit more home runs than any other team. So we'll see them tonight against the Cardinals and Big Mac in St. Louis.
Things in life can change like that. All that work, and it's gone. But Farmers Insurance can help you get things back to the way they once were. That's why everything we do, from the way policies are written to the way claims are handled, revolves around getting you back to that point. Isn't that what insurance is supposed to do? Hey, wires can short out. Toasters can catch fire. These things happen. But with Farmers, we can at least help get you back where you belong.
In Denton, Texas, a lot of folks who work on their cars go to AutoZone because they know they're going to find quality parts, low prices, great selection, and good people like Tom Robbins. You see, Tom's the kind of guy who really likes to help folks out. And since he's been around cars most all his life, he knows his parts, too. Oh, sure, there are other parts stores in town, but when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice from folks like Tom, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
A thought for those of you married to your job. Every once in a while, have a fling with your wife. Royal Caribbean, like no vacation on earth.
race is heating up. Step up to the plate and play the Pepsi Major League Baseball Home Run Countdown. Go to in-store Pepsi displays, fill out an entry form, and if you guess the 98 Home Run Champions total, you'll be entered to win a trip for 4 to this year's World Series.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball is brought to you by Farmers Insurance and your Farmers Insurance agent. Farmers get you back where you belong. And you got to look at the huge crowd that has gathered once again here in St. Louis. This has become a real tough ticket. Cardinals will have 10 home games left after tonight, and there are only approximately 75 to 80,000 tickets left for the whole season. 2 games already sold out. And of course, you're looking at the reason right there. Mark McGwire. And he needs 8 home runs more in the Cardinals' last 27 games to reach his rendezvous with history. 8 more homers to move him past Roger Maris and the all-time single-season home run record. And of course, Sammy Sosa also needs 8 more now. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Braves have other things in their mind, as this will be considered a disappointment in 1998 if they don't go to the World Series and then win the World Series. Bobby Cox has had so much success with this Atlanta ball club. Here's his lineup, the Pepsi Braves lineup. It will be Gerald Williams in left field, Greg Colburn in right field, Chipper Jones at third base, Andres Galarraga at first base batting cleanup, Javi Lopez, who seems to get better and better with each succeeding year. He leads the major league catchers in home runs this year. Andrew Jones in center field. He's the youngest 20-20 man in major league history. That's to reach the combination of 20 homers and 20 steals. He's got 23 homers and 21 steals right now. He's hitting 6th. Tony Graffanino is at second base, hitting 7th. Ozzie Guillen, the veteran, former Chicago White Sox shortstop, hits 8th for Atlanta. And rookie pitcher Kevin Millwood is on the mound, and he has gone 14 and 8. And the Cardinals take the field. Donovan Osborne goes to the mound, and the veteran lefty who's had to deal with so many injury problems the last couple of years, but he's back in there now, and he's pitched well for St. Louis.
Well, John, he's a very good pitcher. When he is healthy, he changes speeds, has good movement on his fastball, and a good curveball. When he is healthy, he is one of the better pitchers in the league, but he has not been healthy the last couple of years, and he's 3-3. The 2.81 earned run average just tells you a lot about the way he has pitched this year. And let's take a look at the defense. And they traded away their third baseman, Gaetti. They released him, and Fernando Tatis has done a good job over there at third base. And he is the guy that they think in the future is going to hit a lot of home runs, and a guy who is just going to be a good defensive third baseman. They really like him.
The umpiring alignment. There's Sam Holbrook working third base. He was in the eye of the storm here yesterday as the home plate umpire. Harry Wendelstadt, the crew chief. Rich Riker at first base. Hunter Wendelstadt, the son of Harry, is at second base, and Sam Holbrook umpiring at third base. And he withstood the heat yesterday after ejecting Mark McGwire, and held a very calm and reasoned press conference afterward. This is the pitch in question. Strike 3 in the first inning. That started the argument with McGwire and Sam Holbrook. McGwire got tossed, and then a bit later, Tony La Russa and even his pitching coach, Dave Duncan, were tossed as well. And then the fans started doing the tossing. Game was stopped for about 10 minutes time there, and it cleared up the debris. A forfeit was threatened if more of the same happened. It was an ugly scene here for a while. Tonight, Jack Buck, the longtime voice of the Cardinals, who was honored today, the unveiling of a statue dedicated to him out in front of this ballpark. And in a speech that he made before the game tonight, he urged the fans as a favor to him to be nice to the umpires tonight. And when the umpires came out to home plate, the fans here in St. Louis very politely applauded the umpires' arrival. Gerald Williams, the hitter, and he quickly takes strike 2.
Well, I think the interesting thing there, John, is in a poll, the fans in St. Louis were voted the best baseball fans, and yesterday was kind of a tarnish on that record. But Jack Buck asked them to get back to their normal behavior, and they did so, and they clapped for the umpires when they came out. But I thought both McGwire and Sam Holbrook handled it perfectly yesterday.
That's into shallow center. And Ray Langford. There's one away.
After the game yesterday in the press conference, both of them took responsibility for their actions. Both said they were just doing their job. They did not try to make it seem like the other was a bad guy, and I think you have to give McGwire a lot of credit because everyone was on his side, and he could have tried to bury Holbrook. He did not. He said he deserved to be kicked out for what he said, and Holbrook said, I was just doing my job. I tried to give him 3 opportunities to get out and get away, and he wouldn't, so I had to do my job. So they both felt like they were doing their job, which is...
Greg Colburn, the shortstop. Ordaz throws him out. That's the second out. Mets at Dodgers also going on simultaneous to this ball game. Later, the Brewers and the Diamondbacks. But we'll keep you updated on the Mets-Dodger ball game at Dodger Stadium, as that has implications in the wild card race. The Cubs won their ball game today in Denver. The Giants, third place in the wild card race, lost their game at home to Kurt Schilling and the Phillies. The Mets trying to maintain a 1-game edge over the Cubs and go to 3 up on the Giants if they can win that game in L.A. Chipper Jones just having another sensational year. 318, 30 homers, 98 batted in. But only 2 of his 30 homers have been hit right-handed. He's hitting .319 right-handed, but just not for the power.
Well, he gets on base a lot in front of the right-handed Andres Galarraga, which has helped this ball club. But the Braves definitely have a power drop-off when you throw left-handed pitching against them, even with the addition of Galarraga. But the fact that Chipper Jones does not hit for power from the right side doesn't hurt them completely, because Javi Lopez has stepped up and Andrew Jones has come back and having a very fine season. So they've added those 2 right-handed bats. And you see the 2 young players there. That's Javi Lopez on the right and Andrew Jones. Your pitcher now.
2-2 the count. And it got him looking on the inside corner. So Galarraga will have to wait an inning. And Big Mac will be coming up third. No score after a half inning.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
That's a Sony Handycam, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can record for 12 hours with that, can't you?
Yeah.
Why would anyone want to record for 12 hours?
Why? So you don't miss anything.
Oh. Oh, yeah, they're hilarious, aren't they?
Yeah.
Record for up to 12 hours on one battery with a Sony Stamina Handycam camcorder. Get a free Anorak jacket with a purchase of select Handycam camcorders.
It's 4th and long. He's going deep. It's tipped. Intercepted. Tired of missing all the action? Then go wide with revolutionary Bushnell Extra Wide binoculars. About 3 times wider than most regular binoculars. Extra wide binoculars from Bushnell.
Braves nothing, and the Cardinals coming up in St. Louis. Yeah, the Macometer up to 54. And, of course, everybody here is hoping to see at least 55 tonight. Here's the Pepsi Cardinals batting order. Delino DeShields, second base. Brian Jordan having a sensational year, right field. Mark McGwire hitting third. Ray Langford is hitting cleanup, and he, too, has come on and is having a fine season. See his numbers since the break, nearly an RBI per game. Ron Gant, the former Brave, in left field. Fernando Tatis is at third base. Luis Ordaz at short now that Royce Clayton has been traded away. Donovan Osborne is the pitcher hitting 8th. And Tom Lampkin, the catcher, is hitting 9th. And on the mound for Atlanta, 14-game winner, the rookie, Kevin Millwood. I say rookie, but you see his numbers for this year. He did win 5 games last year, but in essence, he's a rookie. This is his first full season in the big leagues.
And John, everyone kind of compares him to a young John Smoltz in that he's a power pitcher. Good hard slider, curveball, fastball, high in the 90s, and a circle change.
Delano DeShields, first ball swinging, base hit.
One of the reasons that the Braves have been able to contain McGwire is that they do not make a lot of mistakes, and they make adjustments as the game goes. Let's take a look here at Millwood facing McGwire. See how far McGwire is from the plate on this particular bat. Now watch this, breaking ball away. Now next time up, see, he is moved in on the plate. He's moved in closer, and Millwood goes with a fastball. He moved in closer looking for the breaking ball he got him out with, so Millwood went with the fastball to confuse him, and that's the adjustment that both made.
First ball swinging, Brian Jordan, and Andrew Jones is over there. And just like that, Jordan is gone. And here comes McGwire. .54 homers, 116 runs batted in, a .290 average. And also walked 140 times. Delano DeShields back to the bag at first. McGwire not only with a chance to break the single season home run record, but also the walk record. 170 walks by Babe Ruth, the all-time record. Pitch in the outside corner, and again with a phenomenon here in St. Louis with a night game. As the pitch came in, thousands of cameras were flashing all around this ballpark.
And you see how Millwood starts off. Perfect fastball right on the outside corner. Starts a slider at the outside corner and moves it away. So if McGwire wants to take it, he can, or if he swings at it, he's not going to hurt it. There are the flash bulbs that you're talking about.
1 ball, 1 strike. A throw to first. DeShields is back. I don't know, with McGwire up there, I mean, is DeShields really much of a threat to run here, Joe?
I don't think he should.
At the knees.
And there's another perfect pitch. That's right knee high and away. The reason that McGwire's not going out there to get this pitch is because he knows Millwood has a good enough fastball to come inside.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And the curve. And the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. That was a sharp one, but...
Well, that's the pitch that Millwood tries to throw with 2 strikes to get the hitters to chase out of the strike zone. He doesn't try to throw it for a strike. He starts it in the strike zone and hopes that it breaks out.
1 out, 1 on, first inning. Javi Lopez drops aside. And again, DeShields back to the bag at first.
When you compare Millwood to John Smoltz, that's putting him in pretty high company. And so that tells you how much they think about John Smoltz. I mean, about Millwood, comparing him to John Smoltz.
Missed, down and away. Full count now, 3-2. The outfield, as you might expect, very deep. The right fielder for Atlanta, Colburn, is way over into right center, in front of the 372 marker out there. DeShields goes, and it's ball 4. The 141st walk from McGwire.
Yeah, but the fans should not be booing Millwood on that. He threw 2 strikes. McGwire took 2 strikes. So sometimes when a pitcher walks you, it's not necessarily that he's pitching around you. He's trying to make good pitches, and McGwire took the good pitches that were strikes, and therefore he ended up getting a walk.
Well, the Braves, perhaps more than any other team, as Langford stands in, have pitched aggressively to McGwire. McGwire's had 27 official at-bats against Atlanta. But not much success. Only 4 hits in 27 at-bats against the Braves staff. They certainly have had more success against him than any other staff. He has hit only 1 home run in those 27 at-bats.
Well, the Braves all have good control. They're able to go after a hitter. They don't pitch defensively to McGwire. They go after him like they do other hitters, just trying to make good pitches.
It was a dangerous-looking pitch there to Langford, but he got it past him. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Millwood does not have quite as good a control as, say, Maddox or Glavine has, but he, you know, every once in a while, because he throws so hard, he can get away with making mistakes in the middle of the plate.
Tom Glavine got his 18th win here yesterday. Changed up on him. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Remember, he's facing one of the hottest hitters in the league in Ray Langford. Nearly an RBI per game in the 50 games since the All-Star break, and 85 RBIs for the year. Shields at second, McGwire at first. Curveball, and it's back to the screen. The runners will advance.
And that's one of the things that Leo Mazzoni talked to me about before the game. He said Millwood sometimes can be a little erratic. He's all over the place a little bit, and that's what you see there. But he's concentrating so hard on keeping the breaking ball down that he bounces it. He's trying to make sure he doesn't hang this curveball so it bounces in front of the plate. The 1 home run that McGwire hit against the Braves this year was a hanging breaking ball from Millwood.
So now the Cardinals have 2 men in scoring position. Chipper Jones pulled in at third. The rest of the infielders are backed up. Shields at third, McGwire at second. No score. And the changeup misses. It is 3-2. Another power hitter on deck, although Ron Gant, here he is, number 5, has hit his home runs, but he has not hit well otherwise. 3-2. Struck him out.
Langford took a kind of funny swing at that, like he thought it was going to be high, he was going to let it go, and then he decides to swing. Watch this. He thinks it's going to be high, apparently, and then, like all of it as an afterthought, he swings at it. Fastball away, and you see he's late on that. Langford does strike out quite often. That was his 127th strikeout, but it looked like he was confused on the pitch. He thought it was going to be high, and then he realized it was in the strike zone, and he swung late.
So big out there for Millwood. Now here is Ron Gant, the one-time Brave. 21 home runs, but only a .229 batting average. Comes up with the Shields at third, McGwire at second. Cardinals have had some problems in spots like this, getting their runners home from scoring position. A lot of power clubs that at times, if they don't hit the long ball, they don't score. Different kind of a Cardinal team than you're used to seeing over the years. I mean, they have some speed. From the Roosters got Delino to Shields. Ray Langford can steal bases. Brian Jordan, but this is mainly now a power club built around McGwire. Popped up into the twilight behind the plate. Javi Lopez. And the inning is over. Kevin Millwood lived dangerously but got through it. The Big Cat, Andres Galarraga, coming up. There is no score.
Make the smart move. Join the thousands of truck owners who've already put the load handler to work. Whether big or small, Load Handler works on any truck. From groceries to gravel, Load Handler handles every load. I'm Terry Jones, president of Load Handler Industries, and I personally guarantee your satisfaction. If you own a truck, you need a load handler. So make the smart move and call for your local Load Handler dealer today.
Excuse me. I see you got a little problem there. You're wearing sunglasses and reading glasses. Boy, do you look silly. Clearly, you haven't discovered Optics 2020 reading lenses. They're soft lenses that cling to the inside of your sunglasses. Like this. Now that small print just jumps into focus. It's magic, isn't it? You look so much better. Optics 2020. Reading lenses for sunglasses. Excuse me, hi. So you got a little problem there, huh? Woo, can't see, can ya? Woo.
Property owners, why hassle with a shaky sickle bar like this? Instead, call now for free details about the amazing DR Field and Brush Mower. The DR cuts tall grass and weeds, brambles, sumac, even tough saplings up to 1 inch thick. The DR chops most everything it cuts. There's no mess to trip over or to pick up. You can clear and maintain meadows, pastures, roadsides, walking paths, and woodlots with unbelievable ease. So call this number now for free details about the amazing DR Field and Brush Mower.
So get ready for ESPN Sunday Night Football. 17 weeks, 18 games.
Football season. I'll tell you who I like. I like the Chiefs. Yep, I have a very good feeling about the Chiefs this year.
You like the Chiefs? I like the Jets.
May I remind the group that last year these two geniuses like the Buccaneers and the Dolphins retrospectively, real football knowledge these chowderheads have.
The Dolphins look good on paper.
ESPN Sunday Night Football. The season begins September 6th.
Sunday Night Baseball from St. Louis. No score as we move to the second inning. Baseball Tonight, the most comprehensive baseball program on television, for nightly highlights, including games in progress, as well as the Home Run Watch. Catch Baseball Tonight tomorrow at 10 Eastern, 9 Central for 1 hour, and again at midnight Eastern, 11 Central for a half hour. Baseball Tonight. Don't miss it. Here's Andres Galarraga. Osborne catches the outside for a called strike. Galarraga is having an amazing year, and perhaps been since the days of Hank Aaron that a brave slugger has had this kind of a year. He's got 40 homers and 108 runs batted in. Galarraga, of course, he played his home games at Coors Field previously, and there were those who thought he wouldn't do as well away from Coors Field. Well, he's doing even that well away from his new Turner Field. He drives one way back there to left field, and this one is number 41. A curveball from Osborne, and Galarraga launched it. That's the 25th of his 41 homers that he has hit on the road. 1-0 Atlanta.
Well, Donovan threw him a curveball for the second strike. Galarraga took it, and he mixed a fastball inside, and then he came back with another curveball, and Galarraga was waiting on it. Here's the pitch is a curveball, and you can see he's out on his front foot a little bit, but he keeps his bat back, and he drives it deep into the bullpen. That ball actually hit the wall in the bullpen.
Javi Lopez takes ball one. He's got 29 home runs. 2-0. Lopez, 91 RBIs. He's homered in 4 of the last 5 games, including a big one here yesterday. And his running mate of catchers, it takes ball 3. Eddie Perez has hit another 4 home runs. The 2 catchers, Joe, have 33 homers and 118 RBIs. That's like Bench and Corrales. Johnny Bench and Pat Corrales had the record for most home runs by roomies who were both catchers, he said. He and Bench combined for 46 one year, 1970. That's Pat.
Bench hit 44?
No, 45.
45? Oh, I was trying to sneak one in.
Pat hit one. Yeah. It was big of you, though. Try to give him an extra one. Andres Galarraga, 41 homers now. Past the mound. Delino DeShields. Not in time. Quite a play by Delino DeShields, but not quite in time to get Javi Lopez.
Well, it was actually a great play, but he slipped, John, trying to get up, and that allowed Javi to beat it out. Now watch, he makes a dive. Right here, he comes up. Now, if he can come up right away, now watch, right there, he slips, and he can't get a lot on the throw, and Lopez is able to beat it out. But a nice play by DeShields.
So Lopez gets the infield hit. Here now is Andrew Jones, native of Curacao in the Caribbean. And Bobby Cox, who pulled him out of a game earlier this year and just felt that he needed to grow up, and Bobby was a little down on his attitude. But now he speaks quite a bit differently about his young center fielder. He says he's the best center fielder in baseball right now. That one is hit high and deep into center. Langford all the way back, and that one is gone. Andrew Jones with his 24th home run of the year. It is 3-0 St. Louis.
Well, I hope you guys couldn't read lips, because Osmer was very upset. And I think what he was saying is he didn't hit that ball that good, yet it went out. It's a high fastball. He gave up a home run to Galarraga on a curveball, and now he throws a fastball, and Andrew Jones extends and turns and gets everything into it. That's a beautiful power swing right there from Andrew Jones.
Now Tony Graffinino. It's part of the reason why Bobby Cox says that right now Andrew might be the Braves MVP. He's improved as a hitter. He's learned to go the other way, being more patient at the plate. And Bobby says he never saw Willie Mays play in his prime. But he says he can't believe that even in his prime he was a better center fielder than Andrew Jones is right now. He says he can't believe that anyone is better than Andrew ever. And that one is way back there. And Langford makes an incredible pitch. He robs Graffinino of a home run.
Well, Tony La Russa might be saying that Ray Langford's the best center fielder he's ever seen right now.
Yeah, much better than Andrew from what I've seen tonight,
That was a great catch right there. I mean, he timed his leap perfectly, and he got it right in the edge of the web of the glove. And Graffinino says, I don't hit him that far that often, and when I hit it like that, man, it should be a home run.
Oh, man, bummer.
It's a fastball, and he drills it to straightaway center field. And watch Langford. I mean, he's at least 1.5 feet above the fence here. We'll see. Look at that. I mean, that is a great catch. Right in the edge of the web of the glove. Great catch there by Langford. I'd like to see how high he can high jump, because that was more of a high jump spring rather than just a straight up jump. I mean, he timed it perfectly. Look at that. I mean, the glove really just barely hangs on. Yeah, right now he's the best center fielder in the house today.
Yeah, that's the best I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Andrew will make a play like that later. We'll see.
But it's interesting because he does say that he thinks he's the best center fielder ever. That's taking a lot of, that's covering a lot of ground.
Well, I mean, he's not exactly saying the best. He's just saying he doesn't think that there could ever have been anybody better.
He said that he didn't see Mays a lot in his prime. Well, I saw Mays a lot in his prime. I haven't seen a lot of Andrew Jones, so I'm not gonna second that opinion. Obviously, he's a great center fielder, and he's going to be. But I saw Willie Mays in his prime, and Willie's thoughts were if it stays in the ballpark, I can catch it.
Yeah, and he did.
Yes, most of the time.
2-1 to Ozzie Guillen. I've been chasing pitches like that for about 15 years.
It was funny, John, before the game, he was talking to Dave Parker. He says, well, McGwire got kicked out of the game because they called a bad strike on him. Yes, they called one on me, too. It almost bounced. And Dave said, yeah, but they're used to you swinging at those pitches.
He usually hits those. 3-2 now to Guillen. I mean, already 3-2 to Guillen. What patience. He could go a couple of months at a time without seeing a 3-2 pitch. Popped up. Delano to Shields out. Brian Jordan in. Jordan calls him off. I'd like to see that catch again, Joe. I mean, it was such a sensational play by Langford. I haven't quite got enough of it yet.
Well, we saw Kenny Lofton make a play similar to this in Cleveland in right center field. I mean, just look at that. I mean, you have to have perfect timing, and you have to be able to leap.
Man. was almost into the garden out there, into the botanical garden. 2 down, nobody on. Kevin Millwood. Millwood, unlike Glavine, Maddox, Smoltz, can't hit. Look at that, Joe. 3 for 38. Hits like a pitcher. The rest of the Braves pitchers, they get a hit. Glavine's hitting 262. Maddox 246. Smoltz 214. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that's a
hack. That's a good hack right there, though, John.
I'm talking about hitting, Joe. I'm not talking about hacking.
Well, sometimes pitchers just have to try to look good at the plate.
Yeah. All right. He looked pretty good on that hack. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Braves with a 3-run explosion here. This is the way they've been doing it. They now have hit 182 home runs this year. So the inning is over. Osborne doesn't realize it. Osborne's going back to watch him toss the ball around the infield. Yeah.
Maybe he's punch drunk out there.
Maybe hasn't quite recovered from the explosion. 3-0 Atlanta.
Philips introduces the CD recorder, a revolutionary way to make a CD as unique as you are.
We've got TP on the wingtips.
Only Nextel digital cellular phones have Direct Connect.
Static cling coming at you 12 o'clock.
A 2-way radio feature for instant contact.
Code red, there's snow on the mountains. I repeat, snow on the mountains.
Good luck, sir.
Good luck, sir. Good luck, sir.
So you can solve problems with the push of a button.
Gentlemen, glad to meet you.
At least the ones you're aware of. Nextel, you've never used a phone like this before.
Look, I'll make you a deal. If you quit, I quit.
Okay, Daddy. I just quit. Deal?
Nicoderm CQ.
I know you're not big on help in general.
If you're serious, you don't need help.
When I got serious, I realized I do need it.
CQ gives you a 24-hour stream of medicine that's with you whenever cravings come, even when you first wake up. Nicoderm CQ, the power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to help you quit.
Hey, a deal.
It's a deal.
This is the Midas Gold Muffler. It comes with a Midas lifetime warranty, and it's now just $49.95, $69.95 for select imports. Let's review. Midas Gold Muffler, lifetime warranty, $49.95. Hurry, the price of gold has never been lower.
Who's gonna break Maris's mark and hit 62 out of the park? The race is on. Keep your eyes on the ball. McGwire, Sosa, Griffin, they've got their eyes on the ball. Baseball history is in the making. Who's gonna crush 62 before the season is through? It could happen at a ballpark near you. Don't miss a home run. Don't miss a minute. Keep pace with the race. Log on to MajorLeagueBaseball.com.
Braves 3, Cardinals nothing. Last of the second. It was a young Mark McGwire fan. And there are a lot of them here tonight. Bob Carpenter is here, and he's going to be taking us out into that left field area during the night. And let us meet some of the people around who are hopeful of catching a Big Mac home run. And maybe we'll even find out what some of them think about if they caught number 62 for the record. What would they do with the ball?
Well, we got the right guy. You know, Bob Carpenter worked in the stands here as a young kid.
He was an Andy Frayne usher for 7 years, he said, out here at the ballpark in St. Louis. Here is Fernando Tatis.
I just assumed he was a kid.
He's still a kid. One ball and no strikes to Tatis. Bob was 6 years old. He used to be an usher out here at Busch Stadium. Tatis acquired for the Texas Rangers in the deal that sent Todd Stottlemyre and Royce Clayton over to Texas. And he's done real well here in St. Louis. 297 average, 4 homers, and 101 at-bats. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count to him as he faces Kevin Millwood. Luis Ordaz, and then the pitchers scheduled to follow. The Braves have given Millwood a 3-0 lead. Oh, man. The high cheese for the strikeout. Now let's get an update from Dave Revson.
Thanks, John. MCI taking us to Dodgers Stadium. Dodgers and Mets. Top of the second were scoreless. Dave Malicki, the former Met, beat New York back on August 3rd. Carlos Baerga taking them deep here. 6th of the year. 1-0 Mets. Very important game in the wild card race, guys.
All right, thanks, Dave. So we'll keep an eye on that ball game for you. In the wild card race, the Cubs just a half game out as a result of their win today. The Giants 2.5 out after losing at home to Kurt Schilling and the Phillies.
That might be a bad sign for the Mets. They've been coming from behind in the late innings. Now they're ahead.
Ordaz the hitter. O-R-D-A-Z facing Millwood. 2-0 the count. 3-0 Atlanta is leading. Yeah, the Mets had a 4-0 lead Friday, or a 4-0 deficit Friday to the Dodgers. They won. They were down 3-1 yesterday, and they won. And that's a called strike. 2-1. So today they'll try and play it from ahead. See how they do with that. Barry Bonds hit 2 home runs for the Giants today. But the Phillies defeated them. And that's the way baseball goes. The Giants just took 2 out of 3 from the Mets in a big wild card showdown. And the Phillies come in. They've been struggling. And they have taken 2 out of 3 from the Giants in San Francisco over the weekend. 2-2 the count. And the curveball for the strikeout. 2 down. We said Bob Carpenter's here with us out in the stand. Let's go to Bob.
Hey, John, you're right. I'm just a kid hanging out here in the seats. Doug Murcio with me. If you caught number 62, what would you do?
I think I would sell it. I'd keep about $200,000 or $300,000 for myself and give the rest to Mark McGwire's charity or Cardinal Care.
That's a very good answer. You covered all your bases there. Now, Steve Bennett from Southern Illinois. How about you? What would you do with it?
I'd have to work something out with McGwire, give it back to him.
You know, most of the fans we talked to out here would give the ball back to Matt.
Yeah, I think he deserves it. He brings all these fans out every night, and I just think he's the guy that deserves it.
All right, John, they're hoping it happens here. It'll be interesting when it does.
All right, Bob, thank you so much. Osborne is flied out. The Cardinals go down in order. Top of the order coming for Atlanta, 3-0.
How does Terrell Davis get his foot action? He trains in the Nike Air Aftermath Cross Trainer. He lifts weights. He does cardio work. And then, he really starts working. You want Terrell's foot action? Get yourself the Air Aftermath and the steel melted radio. For every action, there's foot action.
How do you stop a rhino from charging? How?
Travel with Joseph Van Oss Photo Safari to Kenya's land of the Maasai.
How do you stop a rhino from charging?
And you'll see a culture and a wildlife like no other on earth.
How do you stop a rhino from charging?
But bring your Visa card.
How do you stop a rhino from charging?
Give it an American Express card.
Because this Photo Safari doesn't take American Express.
Wait till they hear this in Nairobi!
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
What can Service Merchandise do to enhance your McDonald's Happy Meal race car collection?
Turbocharge it. Race into Service Merchandise for our exclusive limited edition Bill Elliott Racing Team set. Get your Ronald McDonald Gold Edition car, transporter, and display stand. A must for racing fans of all ages. Just $14.94. Or bring the $3 coupon on special McDonald's bags and get the set for just $11.94. Only at Service Merchandise.
Bye bye. Get to Service Merchandise soon, because this offer's going fast.
Thursday night football. First Thursday night game of the year. Auburn, Virginia, Welsh, Bowden. Whew, what a game. Virginia versus Auburn. Thursday at 8 only on ESPN.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball is brought to you by Service Merchandise. Be sure to visit them online at www.servicemerchandise.com. Braves 3, Cardinals 0. This is John Miller, along with Joe Morgan, your Sunday night telecasters. Good to see you, Joe.
Nice seeing you, John.
But do you mean it?
Of course I mean it, John.
Gerald Williams fouls one away off to the right. I mean, it's really good to see you.
Well, it's great to see you because we're at a baseball game.
Yeah.
Watching Big Mac, who happens to be chasing not only Maris and Ruth, but he's also hanging there with Sosa now.
Yeah.
So he was leading the league in home runs most of the time, most of the year. Now Sosa has caught him.
Change up from Osborne, and Williams is behind in the count 1-2. Yeah, as Maris was pressed by Mantle in 61. Mantle ended up that year with 54 homers. Curveball. That one, tough play for Tatis. Tough play for McGwire. And backed up by Delano DeShields, and Williams is safe at first.
Well, Tatis has a very strong arm, but he had to throw this off balance. It should be scored as a base hit. You'll see there's a chopper with 2 strikes. He's all the way back. He charges, and this is just a tough play. He gets rid of it quickly, just throws high. And Gerald Williams, who runs well, he didn't have time to wait. You can see that he probably would have beaten it out anyway. But a good, smart base running there by Williams. He didn't turn toward second base.
Gerald Williams gets credit for an infield hit. Greg Colburn now. The count is 0-1. The Braves are a little bit short-handed right now. They thought that Chipper Jones was going to have to miss some games, and so they brought up Wes Helms from Richmond on Thursday. He's a third baseman. Then Jones found out that he could play, that the pain subsided the next night. And Helms hadn't even gotten into a game yet. But meanwhile, they placed Daniel Bautista, one of their outfielders, on the disabled list to bring Helms into the big league roster. Now they're a little bit short of outfielders. So Colburn is playing right field, which he almost never does. Just off the outside. Our Peter Pasquarelli before the game asked Colburn how many times he's played right field. Colburn gave it a real long thought. He started counting on his fingers. And he said 4 times. And he said, as he clobbered Osborne over the years, he said 4 times in his whole life he played right field. But he get a hit. And he's hit Osborne. Right field, Jordan. And that's out number 1. Colburn, ironically, tonight is 0 for 2 against Osborne. Now the Braves power, the big power comes up. Chipper Jones, Galarraga, Lopez, Andrew Jones. I mean, this club is just loaded with power.
Well, they're a very good ball club, though, John. They know how to hit in certain situations, especially Chipper Jones and Galarraga. They're not just about power. They're good hitters with the runners in scoring position. They're good hitters with the game on the line.
Galarraga on deck. Chipper Jones at the plate. Gerald Williams at first. Curveball. That's too low for ball 1.
And as good as Chipper and Galarraga are with men in scoring position, Javi Lopez is even better. I mean, I think Javi Lopez actually may be their best just clutch hitter with a runner at second base. You've got to get a base hit. I mean, he's been able to do a great job in that situation.
Javi has hit 374 with runners in scoring position this year.
So I didn't even have to look.
Best in the club. You just happen to know.
I just happen to know. I mean, I've actually watched him over the years as he progressed to be a better and better hitter in those situations.
See, you made the statement, and I provided some statistical support.
That's why we're partners. I couldn't do this alone.
I once heard Vince Scully say, baseball statistics are to a baseball game as a lamppost is to a drunk. It provides support, but not illumination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll go for that.
Oh, look, and now we get some more support.
Okay.
How about the Braves' power? Second in the majors. Only the Mariners have hit more. Big flies. 3-1 the count. I mean, even the Cardinals with McGwire having 54 have hit 6 fewer home runs than have the Braves. McGwire on the bag at first, holding against Gerald Williams. scary about this Atlanta ball club, Joe. I mean, they got that same old great pitching, maybe even better. I mean, they're 5 deep in that rotation. Kevin Millwood's got 14 wins. He's their 5th starter. The walk to Chipper Jones brings up Galarraga now. 2 men on, 1 man out. Galarraga launched a home run into the bullpen and left his first time. The Braves not only have hit 182 homers, they've given up 103. I mean, they almost never give them up, but they hit them like crazy. 2 on, 1 out. That's a shot. Ray Langford is not tall enough to get this one. A 3-run homer for El Gato Grande. 6-0 Atlanta. Man, did he get rid of that one in a hurry. So the huge crowd came to watch Big Mac, but Galarraga is the one that's putting on the show.
Well, he hit a curveball for a home run the last time up. This is a high fastball, and it's up and out over the plate. Watch this. Fastball up and out over the plate, and that's exactly where Andres Galarraga likes it. Look at the extension he gets, and once he hits it, Langford didn't even turn to chase it. I mean, that's a line drive.
Now Lopez, curveball in the dirt. Well, it's the 8th time this year that Galarraga has hit 2 homers in a game.
And we're only in the 3rd inning.
Seven times he's hit 2 home runs in the game. On the road, he's only done it once in Atlanta. That's wide of 3rd and through a base hit. I don't know, Joe. I don't like the Cardinals' chances so far in this game.
No, and Osborne has been pitching very well for the Cardinals, and he's struggling. A lot of times, basically, it's his control. It's a high fastball. He got up to Andrew Jones, and he hit it out, and a high fastball to Galarraga. This ball's hit sharply. It's the hop, I think, that hurts him the most. You see Tatis trying to get over there, getting in front of it, but he can't. I think what La Russa's thinking is, I've got to get some innings out of Donovan, and I want him to get some work in, but how long can I stay with him if they continue to get base hits?
Andrew Jones hit one out of the ballpark his first time. 24 homers now for the year. Hit a 2-run homer. Changeup. 0-2 the count. All right, so Joey's got 2 strikes on him. What's he got now to get him out?
Well, I think you've got to go upstairs, try to get him to chase something out of the strike zone or bounce a curveball. You do not throw him a strike. If you've got a young player like Andrew Jones, you get him 0-2. I don't think you should throw him a strike in the next 2 pitches. Try to get him to chase something out of the strike zone.
Curve in the dirt?
Or just make sure it's down. Well, you see that there. That's what you want to do.
Change up down. Get one. Not in time. Delano to Shields. Tried to tag Lopez. Meanwhile, stuff happening in the Mets-Dodger game. Let's go to Dave Revson.
Sure is, John. Carlos Baerga homered in the 2nd, as you saw. Now in the 3rd, it's Edgardo Alfonso with his 13th, 2-0 New York. One other note, Mike Piazza has left the game after being hit by a foul ball. He has a bruised right shoulder. John and Joe, back to you guys.
All right, Dave, thank you. Edgardo Alfonso, who won the game yesterday against Jeff Shaw with a 2-run 9th-inning homer, goes deep again. The big curveball to Graffinino. Bag at first, just barely, is Andrew Jones.
John, Andrew Jones is the youngest player in the history of the game to have 20 home runs and 20 stolen bases in the same season.
That's a foul. 2 strikes to count to Graffinino. He's the man who was robbed of a home run by Ray Langford his first time. There's some more support to what you said there, Joe.
Our youngest player, yeah, with 20 in the same season. Yeah. Actually, that surprised me because I actually thought that Cesar Cedeno would have probably done that at an earlier age, but I guess he did not.
Andrew been about a couple of months.
Okay.
To the count to Graffinino. That quick snap throw to first after stepping off the slab. Still 0-2.
Until I saw Ken Griffey Jr., I always thought that Cesar Cedeno had the most ability of any young player I'd ever seen.
Popped up foul and back out of play. By the way, Joe, Andrew Jones was 56 days younger than Cesar Cedeno when he became a 2020 man.
That doesn't count.
That's almost 2 months.
Yeah, that doesn't count. So they were the same age.
Well, they were the same age.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we splitting hairs
Right.
for here? I mean,
Yeah, right. Same age.
They were 21.
Right. They're both 21.
0-2 the count. And we'll go back out of play.
But one thing, Jones hit a couple home runs in the World Series, so Daniel never had an opportunity to do that.
Well, Jones hit him the first time first game he ever played in the World Series.
Unbelievable.
0-2 the count.
Most players his age probably wouldn't even know which end of the bat to use at that time. You're so nervous to put him in the World Series.
We saw the Little League World Series. They know which end of the bat to use.
Yeah, but those are aluminum bats.
Ordaz shows off the arm there. It's a good one. But 3 more runs courtesy of Andres Galarraga. And the Braves have a huge lead on behalf of Millwood. 6-0 Atlanta.
Race is heating up. Step up to the plate and play the Pepsi Major League Baseball Home Run Countdown. Go to in-store Pepsi displays, fill out an entry form, and if you guess the 98 Home Run Champions total, you'll be entered to win a trip for 4 to this year's World Series.
I don't want to buy a new PC every year till commencement. I needed one that would keep up with them. Gotta save something for college.
Introducing YourWare from Gateway. Call 1-800-GATEWAY and we'll custom build you a Gateway PC with an Intel Pentium 2 processor and internet access, all for just $49.95 a month. And in 2 years, you can trade it in toward the purchase of a new one. School's about to start, so call us now and let's talk about YourWare from Gateway.
This is life. This is getting every mile you can out of life. And this is how you get there. Kelly Safari radios are engineered for long mileage. Of course, that's no guarantee you'll live harder or go farther. Just an invitation.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. There's a young fan who's hoping that, man, what if Big Mac would hit one right up here to me? I'd catch it. I'd bring it to school, show and tell.
Before my dad took it, you mean?
I'd call Joe Morgan, see if he could get me a good deal for it. Yeah, there's some people they wanted to hit it right there. Here's Tom Lampkin. I saw on Baseball Tonight the shot that Sosa hit today in Denver. They said it hit the scoreboard and left.
Yeah, it was a big fly.
Man.
Actually, it was farther than the ball that McGwire hit in the home run hitting contest there. It was farther towards center field.
Tom Lampkin. He cracks one high and deep into right center field. Andrew Jones way back there, way back there. He makes the catch. Lampkin apparently just got under it a little bit too much.
I think if you're Coburn, you just need to get out of the way.
Yeah.
let Andrew have it. I mean, let Andrew have it. I thought he got enough of this when he first hit it, but you see, Andrew has to go a long way to get there, and Coburn hustling all the way. But thankful that he heard Andrew say, "I've got it," And Andrew was able to make the catch.
Andrew himself was thankful that Colburn heard that. Here's Delano DeShields. Called a strike on the outside. You know, McGwire hit one so high the other night. I mean, people talk about the distance of his home runs. Against Florida the other day, he just hit a fly ball. It was so high. John Cangelosi, the center fielder for the Marlins, went after it. And Rich Donnelly, the Marlins coach, said that that ball, before it came down, Cangelosi was collecting his pension. Now that's a pretty high fly ball.
Well, that's a real big fly.
Cangelosi said, I've got it 26 times. Delano DeShields, that's a foul out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Delano singled his first time. Mark McGwire would be due up 4th in this inning, so they got to get somebody on base for McGwire to come up there. And right now trailing 6-0 to Millwood and the Braves. They'd like to get a few people on for Big Mac. Spins that curveball outside. He got a real good curveball. 2-2.
Very few pitchers actually throw a true curveball anymore. They throw that in between.
And the changeup is a looped foul off to the left. 2-2.
And the reason is that overhand curveball is very difficult to control. Throw strikes with it, you have a better chance of throwing a strike with that slurve or a slider.
Right to the second baseman. That's Graffinino, and he throws him out. 2 down. And our friend Bob Carpenter's out there in Big Mac land.
John, when you sit up here, you could never believe a ball could be hit up this high. This is Pat Schramm, Kristen, Kevin. Dad's over here. Do you really think he can hit a ball up here to you?
Oh, no doubt in my mind. And we've seen him hit it here before on television. This is the first time we sat here, though.
Now, Dad went out for a drink a minute ago. He got back just in time in a moment here to see McGwire. Did you send him out?
Actually, he wanted to go on his own because he didn't want to miss the hit.
Well, we're going to stand by up here, guys, and see if McGwire can hit one. I've got a deal for you, Joe. Joe Morgan baseball for this Big Mac hard hat if you're biting.
All right. Brian Jordan flies out. McGwire will have to wait an inning before he comes to bat again. That's where they were sitting way up there.
This young man is about to save a life. Would you know what to do? If you arrive first, have someone go for help.
Don't move. Hey, guys, call for help.
Then, to reduce the risk of fire, turn off the car's engine. Don't take chances if a car is burning. And never move a victim unless it's absolutely necessary. Learn more in this free book from Shell. Count on Shell.
A good sweat isn't so good once the game is over. That's why there's Irish Spring Sport.
It has an extra antibacterial ingredient that kills odor-causing germs better than regular soap. It's Irish Spring Sport. Play as hard as you like.
The powdered sugar on this donut puts a semi-protective barrier between your fingerprint and your nutrition. But even if some grease does get on that donut, that's just flavor to a High Life man.
If you like home videos, you'll love staying at Ramada. Because in addition to our personal best service, comfortable rooms, and great prices, this summer we're giving away lots of home videos. For every 5 nights you spend at Ramada, we'll send you one of these 20th Century Fox home videos, free. 30 titles to choose from. So drop by your favorite Ramada hotel, and pretty soon, you'll find a 20th Century Fox home video at your door. For reservations, call 1-800-2-RAMADA.
What sets some people apart? Gives them the confidence to succeed on their own terms. It's no secret, it's the Wall Street Journal. Now you can have that confidence delivered for 13 weeks at just $36.75, just 57 cents a day. That's a 25% savings off our regular rate, which makes now a great time to try this limited time offer. Call now, 800-356-9800. That's 800-356-9800 for the Wall Street Journal.
I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan, and we're joined by Mike Shannon, the longtime broadcaster of the Cardinals, a former third baseman, and before that, an outfielder for the Cardinals. He moved to third base when a guy named Roger Maris came to St. Louis to play right field. So, Mike Shannon, you've been watching McGwire do his thing, but you were also here, and you got to know Roger Maris real well as we watch Ozzie Guillen take ball one from Donovan Osborne. Tell us a little bit about Roger Maris. Was he a good guy?
He was a great guy. I think you ask some of his friends and they'll tell you that, John, what a wonderful person he was. And there's so many similarities between Roger and Big Mac. It is phenomenal how similar they are in so many ways. Their swings, I guarantee, and Joe, I'd like for you, maybe you could analyze it one time. You take Roger's swing and you take Mark's swing, just nothing but their hands, eliminate their body, and you'll see two of the great compact swings in the history of baseball. Now, Mark's has more extension because he takes his top hand off the bat as he goes through. But if you took their swings and you isolated them, removed everything except their hands, I bet you couldn't hardly tell.
Into left center field, and a nice play by Ron Gant.
Well, it was a very nice play by Gant. Guillen thought he had a base hit. He hit it into left center field. Gant was playing towards the line. You see he has quite a ways to go on this. And he stays with it. And makes a fine catch.
So one away, and now Kevin Millwood, the pitcher, will come up.
I think that's interesting, Mike, in that if you're, like you said, if you just take a shot of their hands, because one of the things I did notice is the plane of their bats, which is what you're talking about, was very similar.
But no wasted motion.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you. Well, here's Roger.
Here's Roger.
Look at that. That bat doesn't do anything but go right to the ball. And, of course, this is when he was with us, and he didn't have that power because of the broken hand. But the swing is still the same.
Yeah.
And one thing that he could do better than any player I've ever seen before is pull the outside pitch.
Well, that comes from playing in Yankee Stadium.
Yes, you know. But, I mean,
yeah.
Roger told me that out of the last 11 home runs he hit, only one was a strike. And that was the one that Tracy threw him for the 61st. The rest of them were outside. And, you know, they have some of those clips, but they were 4, 5, even 6 inches outside. But he could take the outside pitch, and he could pull it foul past first base.
That is interesting.
Did he ever talk to you, Mike, about the 61 season and the ordeal that he went through that year?
You know, he didn't talk really much about that. I mean, he never complained about that. Certainly he mentioned what he really just said mostly as you get the strikeout here is that the Yankees didn't protect him. You know that, you know, he had to come to the park. He had to have all the riders in the clubhouse, and that took such a toll on the other players. I mean, the other players couldn't even hardly get in there. And then after the game, it would be the same thing. And you talk to some of the writers that covered Roger in 61, and they'll tell you that he would stay 2, 3 hours, even 4 hours after the game. They'd still be asking questions because he had 2, 3, 4, 500 of them, and he did that.
Tell us about Maris, the player, other than Maris, the player.
The biggest surprise that I had in the World Series in 64 when we played the Yankees in 64 was what a great outfielder he was.
That's Gerald Williams with a fair ball into the right field corner. Brian Jordan digs it out. Or if he tries to, Williams is now going to try for third, and he's going to make it. Brian Jordan could not get the ball out of the corner at first, and Williams goes all the way to third. We're talking with Mike Shannon about Roger Maris versus Mark McGwire, and you were talking about the strokes and how similar.
Yeah, you watch him now, Joe, and you'll be good.
No, I think you made the point. There's no wasted motion.
No way, and it just takes it right to the ball.
And I've talked in the past about how a lot of hitters, they do a lot of things with their bats before, you know, they attack the pitch. But you're right, McGwire and Maris both just attack the ball.
You know, you used to fool everybody. They thought you moved your bat. All you did was you moved that bat. You didn't move the bat, though. That bat stayed right there.
Yeah, move the arm. I believe the less amount of movement you have, the better off you are.
Well, they always talk about, well, you could take a dime and put it on top of his bat.
Right.
Both those guys you could. But you're talking about Maris, the player. In 2 years with us, I never saw him throw to the wrong base, make a mistake. I'm talking about mental mistakes. Never made a mistake in the outfield, and he never made a mistake on the infield. And you know what he used to say? You're going to kick out of this, Joe, because you were such a good RBI man. He said, I only have to get 75 RBIs a year. That I have 25 automatic. Because he would have a man at third less than 2 outs.
Right.
He'd hit a ground ball to the second base.
And he knows how to put the ball in play to get that RBI.
He got 25 at least a year, just grounding to the second base.
Greg Colburn with a ground ball to Big Mac to end the inning. That's Mike Shannon, the former Cardinal, former teammate of Roger Maris. Mike, thanks so much for coming over.
Our pleasure.
I'll see you over Shannon's later.
Yes, you got it. Thank you.
McGwire coming up.
I know, it's just not fair. You get a little older, and what happens? Your hair falls out. What is that? Your hair falls out. Is that your story? Get a little thin up there? You know you can have your hair back at no charge. That's right, there's no cost. I said free. Just call 1-800-HAIR CLUB and receive your free booklet on how to get your hair back for free. We're the Hair Club for Men. We're not about drugs or surgery. What we are about is adding real human hair into your own. Hair that looks and feels like your own. A natural hairstyle for an active lifestyle. So call 1-800-HAIR CLUB right now for a free brochure, your free hair, and for a limited time, an added bonus. A free vacation, 3-day, 2-night family vacation package at your choice of major resort hotels. All you have to do is prepay for a basic club plan. That's it. So make the call and get your hair back now by calling 1-800-HAIR CLUB. That's 1-800-HAIR CLUB.
Do you need a Visa credit card? If you can say yes to these minimum requirements, we'll say yes to you. This is a special opportunity to get an unsecured Visa credit card with no security deposit required, even if you've been turned down before and regardless of your past credit history. Almost everyone will be approved for this Visa credit card, so call now. Repeat, if you can say yes to these minimum requirements, we'll say yes to you. Say yes to this limited no-risk offer for an unsecured Visa credit card from Cross Country Bank. Call this toll-free number now.
Mark McGwire coming up. The Braves lead the Cardinals 6-0. And the new ESPN magazine is on newsstands now. Terrell Davis is on the cover with a special NFL preview, but also, while the world waits for every swing of his bat, all Mark McGwire wants is someone at home to talk to. And he says, on Roger Maris, it'd be great to talk to him. I guess he'd be a lot like me. I really do. Just an even-keeled kind of a guy who wants to go to the ballpark to do his job and go home. I really believe we're so much alike. And it's in the new issue of ESPN magazine. That's pretty much what Mike Shannon was just saying. Shannon, who Tim McCarver told me just a few days ago, Joe, that I mean the two of them were the best of friends, Shannon and Maris, when Maris came here to St. Louis. And San Francisco Giants fans will always remember Roger Maris getting to that ball hit by Willie Mays into the right field corner, the 7th game of the 1962 World Series. As ball one to McGwire as the cameras go off all around Busch Stadium again. The thousands and thousands points of light going off with each pitch. That one almost destroyed Ozzie Guillen. Base hit.
It's one of those balls that are hit and they say get the Merritt guys off the infield. I mean, that was a bullet, but it was also a pitch that McGwire could have driven. Watch where this pitch is. This is a mistake right in the middle of the plate, about belt high. Look at that. That's where McGwire normally might take you out, but you know what he did there? He got his hands on top. He rolls his hands a little bit there. That's why he didn't get the elevation that he normally may get. A little too much top hand there from McGwire.
Rod Carew worked with him on that swing. So McGwire is aboard. Here is Ray Langford, who struck out his first time. 6-0, Atlanta leading. That's a strike.
You know, John, to show you how difficult it is to hit home runs, and it seems easy when McGwire, Sosa, Griffey, all these players hit them. But you know, there's only like 1/16 of an inch difference from a long fly ball and a line drive to the outfield going out of the ballpark. 1/16 inch of a difference.
Down the right field line. That's a fair ball into the corner. Going after this Coburn. McGwire will be held at third. It's a stand-up double for Langford. And suddenly Millwood is looking hittable here in the 4th inning.
Well, I think what you see, John, is Millwood with a big lead trying to make sure that he throws strikes and doesn't get behind these hitters. I mean, he went right after McGwire. This is a slider that doesn't do a lot on the inside part of the plate. And you throw in a left-hander a slider with a runner at first base, he's looking for something to pull anyway. Even though McGwire wasn't being held on, as a left-handed pull hitter, you're always looking for something inside to rip down that way.
So Langford with his 31st double of the year. Here is Ron Gant. He's got the power to put the Cardinals much closer. And Gant let a pretty fat-looking pitch go by right there.
A lot of hitters will tell you if you're a fastball hitter, hit the fastball. Don't wait for something that you have problems with.
So what happened? I mean, was he guessing something? Did he outsmart himself?
Well, a lot of times you might not see the release point or pick up the ball as quickly as you would like, and you do not want to make a mistake by just making a feeble swing, even though the ball's down the middle.
0-1 the count. And the slider misses down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, this ballpark has seen some incredible comebacks both ways. Cardinals, with all of their powers, well capable of making a comeback. And the Cardinals certainly have given up a few late in games this year. I mean, earlier this week when the Florida Marlins were in town, the Cardinals led 6-0 in the 9th inning. And the Marlins hit 4 home runs. The last of them a 3-run shot to tie the game. 6 runs in the 9th, and then Florida won the game in the 10th inning. 7-6. He's staying with that slider, and Gant is staying off of it. 3-1.
John, I talked to Tony La Russa about that today, and he said, you know, what happened at the beginning of the season, you know, guys started making mistakes in the late inning, giving up runs, and then the pressure started to get to them. They kind of felt like they're going to hang a pitch, and they try to be too fine, and just, you know, you make more mistakes when you're not relaxed out there.
And a fastball. It's 3-2.
Well, I can only think that Ron Gant, 3-1, he's looking for a fastball middle of the plate in, something that he figures he could drive.
Fernando Tatis is on deck. Well, 3-2 with a 6-run lead. He's got to get a fastball here, doesn't he?
No, not necessarily. But he has missed with all the breaking balls.
He struck him out with a high, hard one.
That was out of the strike zone.
So he got 3 fastballs, and the one that was out of the zone is the one he swung at.
Well, that's why, you know, Ron Gant is struggling at 229 this year, because the Ron Gant that hits the ball so well, I mean, he attacks, he's more aggressive. He got some fastballs to hit, and he did not hit them. Now you go up and out of the strike zone. It's a little tough up there with a good fastball like Millwood has. But he had a couple of pitches to hit earlier in the count, and he did not hit them.
Millwood has 4 strikeouts, 1 out. McGwire at third, Langford at second. Tatis. And he looks at a fastball right in there for strike 1. I mean, there's being patient, trying to get, you know, on base and whatnot. But I mean, being patient shouldn't include fastballs right in there, right in the power zone.
Well, especially with runners in scoring position.
Well, this inning's going backwards for the Cardinals. Taking the strikes and is swinging at the pitches out of the zone. 0-2. Ron Gant. This is, you might well figure the last couple of years are going just like that at bat. 0-2 the count. Up the middle base hit. It almost took Millwood's head with it. Langford will be held up, but heading towards second is Tatis. He slowed up, and he does make it. Man, did he get lucky on that one. He stopped in no man's land for a second.
And Bobby Cox is out of the dugout. He thought that Tatis was out at second base. And there you see Cox going back into the dugout, but he jumped out. He started to go out and argue. This is a slider. He hangs it. He does not get it away. It's actually a strike. And you can see that ball rip right back through the middle. He was trying to get that slider away off the plate, and he got it on the plate. And you'll see the slide here at second base. Well, the first base umpire, Reeker, was down there, and you couldn't really see it.
Well, Tatis, as Andrew Jones overthrew his cutoff man, again, apparently just convinced that Langford was going home. But Tatis, for some inexplicable reason, stopped on his way to second. Ozzie Guillen's only plays to first, and he gets Ordaz. Coming in to score is Langford. Tatis goes to third. Now you've got the pitcher's spot due up.
Well, you see Tatis come around first base. He's got to make sure that Galarraga doesn't cut the ball. And he saw that the ball wasn't going to be cut. And I can see why Bobby Cox felt like he was going to come out and argue. That was a very close play at second base. And Graffinino and Cox thought they had him at second base.
2 runs in for the Cardinals. Now Pat Kelly is going to pinch hit for Donovan Osborne. They're in the last of the 4th. 6-2 Atlanta. Bullpen activity for St. Louis. John Frascatori is up in the pen, right-hander. So here is Kelly, former New York Yankee, riddled with injuries the last 2 or 3 years, trying to get his way back into the big leagues. 0-1 the count. Six runs, 7 hits for Atlanta, 2 runs, 4 hits for St. Louis. And that one is in there at the knees. Strike 2 call. McGwire led off the inning with a hard single to left. Langford doubled him to third. 1 out. Tatis singled home McGwire. Or does. And got Langford home with an infield out. Tatis is at third. That sharp breaking ball too low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Atlanta has an interesting series coming up tomorrow night. When they get home to Turner Field, they'll be hosting the Houston Astros for 3 games. 2 of the real powers of the National League this year will go head to head. Andres Galarraga down the line. He's got it. With Graffinino right behind him. So that's the inning. And the big cat will be coming up second. The power coming for Atlanta. Galarraga's got 2 home runs and 4 RBIs already in this game. Chipper Jones and Galarraga.
A thought for those of you married to your job. Every once in a while, have a fling with your wife. Royal Caribbean, like no vacation on Earth.
Introducing the amazing power of new Duracell Ultra.
Mike's towing, please hold.
Oh. Now cell phones get up to 100 more minutes. New Duracell Ultra with a concentrated power force to give more life to your high-tech devices.
Mike's towing, can I help you?
Hey, could you put me back on hold?
New Duracell Ultra. More power, more life.
In Murray, Utah, a lot of folks like to work on their cars themselves. And they come to AutoZone because they know they'll find quality parts, low prices, great selection, and helpful people like Rick Perry. Now, Rick's been around cars all his life, so he knows a thing or two about looking up parts and solving problems. And whether it's selling new parts or testing old ones, he's always glad to help. You see, when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
There's something about Mary. It has come to our attention that audiences are laughing so hard at this movie, they're missing many of the jokes.
This sucks.
We apologize for this inconvenience and offer the following suggestion. See the film over.
Must have blocked it out of my head.
And over.
Each shay's better than the next.
And over.
What about Brett Favre?
Again.
He's in love with Mary, too.
There's still something about Mary. Rated R. Now play.
6-2, the Atlanta Braves lead the St. Louis Cardinals. And a new pitcher has come on for St. Louis. Donovan Osborne went 4 innings, gave up 6 runs, including 3 home runs. And now John Frascatori comes on. And he's going to face the biggest sluggers in the Braves lineup tonight. Chipper Jones, Andres Galarraga, and Javier Lopez. And Galarraga's hit 2 homers already. Lopez had a couple of hits. Andrew Jones has a home run. Donovan Osborne, you have to forgive me, a little shell shock there in the 2nd and 3rd inning. They hit some shots against him.
He had pitched very well. He was, since he'd been back, but it was one of those nights he couldn't locate his fastball, and the Braves were swinging the bats well.
Yeah, I mean, this Atlanta team, Joe, I mean, this year they've always, in this decade, had the strong starting pitching. And they've always had some power. But now they have an extraordinary amount of power, and they can play all kinds of types of games with it. They can play the, we talked about it last week, they beat the Dodgers 12-7 in a game where Greg Maddux got lit up. And they still pounded them. I mean, they can play the free-for-all game with you and the 2-1 game with you. Chipper Jones now from his home run side, the left side. It's a ball down and in.
John, you talked about, you know, they've had the good starting pitching for a long time, and that's correct. But they, in my opinion, did not become a good ball club until they got Freddie McGwire from San Diego. I think he helped turn this franchise around.
That one is hit high and deep into center, but Langford's got plenty of room out there. And there is one away. Galarraga next.
Let's take a look at the Galarraga with using bat track here. This is Donovan Arsma. And this is where diving into the ball helps him. That was a curveball away, and it was a 70-mile-an-hour pitch and an 83-mile-an-hour swing. That lets him stay back. This is the second one. This is a fastball from Osborne. High fastball up out over the plate, 88 miles an hour on the pitch, 86-mile-an-hour swing.
And ball one to Galarraga.
And the fact that Galarraga kind of dives in really helped him on that slow curveball from Osborne, the first home run he hit.
That one is hit high into left center. Again with plenty of room. Man,
that was a slider that just moved off his bat and moved right out there on the end. I mean, if that ball's another 2 inches in, he's got another home run. Now watch this pitch. You hopefully we'll be able to see it in slow motion here. Watch this ball move right off the edge of his bat. See that last bit of movement there got him out on the end of the bat, because he thinks he's got it right here, but then watch, he'll have to reach for it. See, he reaches just a little bit further than the time before, and he can't get it.
Now, speaking of reaching, there it goes, way back toward the bullpen, and Javi Lopez clears the bullpen. Wow, we are seeing some hangers here tonight.
Man, maybe these are the 1927 Yankees revisited. I mean, man.
The 30th home run of the year for Javi Lopez. And he's the third Brave to reach 30 home runs. 7-2 Atlanta.
Well, this is a fastball, and I mean, Javi just bends down on it. He gets his back knee down, and he just, look at that right there. You see his back knee drop. He gets right under it, and he doesn't even want to look to see how far this one is. A lot of hitters drop their back shoulder. He just dropped his back knee there to get underneath it.
Andrew Jones, and he had about the same idea, I think, but he fouled it back. It's 0-1. Well, Andrew Jones in this game hit his 24th home run. So if he can get 6 more this year, the Braves will have 4 30 home run men. The right center. They're certainly not having any trouble getting the ball airborne here against Frascatore. 7-2 Atlanta. They've hit 4 home runs. We go to the last of the 5th inning.
What can service merchandise do to enhance your McDonald's Happy Meal race car collection? Turbocharge it.
Race into service merchandise for our exclusive limited edition Bill Elliott Racing Team set. Get your Ronald McDonald Gold Edition car, transporter, and display stand. A must for racing fans of all ages. Just $14.94. Or bring the $3 coupon on special McDonald's bags and get the set for just $11.94. Only at Service Merchandise.
My advice, get the service merchandise soon, because this offer's going fast.
You never know when your number is going to be up. That's why you need protection against the unexpected. But life is full of surprises. You could live to be 100. So at the Conseco Companies, our goal is to help you protect wealth, create wealth for life.
My husband and I made a bet. I said 10-10-3-2-1 was cheaper. He thought AT&T was. Well, the phone bill is here, and he lost. Turns out 10-10-3-2-1 saved 50% off every call over 20 minutes. Calling Grandma in Cleveland only costs $2.80 with 10-10-3-2-1. It was 560 with AT&T. So it's settled. Now we both dial 10-10-321, then 1 and the number. Right, honey?
This is the last time I bet against you.
I love a man in an apron.
Dial 10-10-321.
Introducing the all-new 1999 Grand Am. Its solid form design provides a stronger body structure so you can play as hard as you like with hardly a rattle.
Solid.
Excitement, well built. The all-new Grand Am by Pontiac.
7-2 Braves, and where's Bob Carpenter, Joe?
He's right up in there, John.
I can't believe it. Up in Big Mac land?
Up in Big Mac land.
Bobby, are you there, baby?
Hey, John, I'm up here, and just to give you a little reference, Busch Stadium opened in 1966. A couple of months later, Orlando Cerveda hit the first ever upper deck homer. It landed right in this spot. They measured it at 510. People said, that'll never be done again. McGwire's gone way higher, way out further than this. And I think for Joe Morgan, this is about a 3-wood, isn't it, Joe?
Got 3-wood and a 9-iron.
Teed up.
I've got hit it more than once, Bob.
All right, thanks, Bob. And McGwire is due up 4th in this inning against Kevin Millwood. Tom Lemke, he hit one pretty well his first time. Got under it just a little bit too much and was caught by Andrew Jones in deep right center. Millwood misses 1 ball and no strikes. Andres Galarraga, 2 home runs tonight, won a 3-run shot. He's got 42 home runs this year. 25 of Galarraga's 42 home runs have come with men on base. That's the best percentage of any of the top home run hitters in the league. Among any home run hitter with 25 homers or more. He's got more than 60% of his homers with men on base. That's when they really hurt. Andrew Jones, and that is the first out. As McGwire, Sosa, and Griffey prepare for the stretch run toward their assault on Roger Maris' 61 homers, they aren't the only people involved in the chase. SportsCenter's 5-part series debuting tomorrow on the 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. SportsCenter takes you to the front lines of the chase to talk to players, broadcasters, and fans who are all playing a role in perhaps the biggest sports story of the decade, one of the biggest baseball stories of the century. Delano DeShields takes ball 1. And that fastball is a strike. DeShields has singled and he has grounded out the second. Well, you know, the Cardinals faced the Braves in the National League Championship Series just 2 years ago. They had a 3-1 lead over Atlanta, and then Atlanta beat them in the final 3 games by scores of 14-0, 3-1, and 15-0. And Joe, you can make a case that the Cardinals have not recovered yet. Last year, stricken with injuries, they finished well below 500, and here they are again, even with McGwire having an historic season. They're 9 games under 500 this year. It was one of the most impressive stretches of dominance that anybody's ever seen in the postseason. They went on and took a 2-0 lead over the Yankees after that in the World Series. And then just when it looked like they were just completely invincible, the Yanks won 4 in a row against them. Base hit for DeShields. The Braves last year got eliminated by the team of destiny, the Florida Marlins, before they could get back to the series. So that's what this season is all about for Atlanta. Getting to the series, getting another shot at winning it all. So Jordan coming up, and there's Mark McGwire coming out on deck. Brian Jordan, a free agent at the end of this year. He said that as a high schooler at Milford Mill High School in Baltimore, he was a shortstop. And he was drafted out of high school as a shortstop, but elected to go to college, and of course he became quite a football player, went into the NFL. But when he was in college, they said, man, with that kind of speed, we need you out in center field. He plays right field here in St. Louis mostly because Langford is such an outstanding center fielder, but he really would like to play center field full time. Right field. Home run. And that is out number 2. So George is 0 for 3. And now McGwire to the plate with 2 down in the 5th.
John, I've always figured in order to drive the ball and hit a lot of home runs, you've either got to be quick, meaning have a quick bat, or you have to be strong. And McGwire has both. He is both strong and he is quick. Very few players have ever had both. Usually when you're a big, strong guy, you have a longer swing. He's got a short, compact swing, which makes him very quick, and he's awfully strong.
Check swing. Pretty good movement on that fastball. Looked like a cutter. 2 balls, no strikes to McGwire. He is trying to stay out of the power zone here. McGwire could make this game very interesting if he could launch one here. Down the left field line. Into the corner. Fair ball. And it bounces out of play for an automatic double.
Well, just another routine line drive. And not exactly what the fans came to see, although they respond to the double. I would guarantee that again he probably rolls his top hand because that's why he didn't get the other ball out of here. No, he didn't. He did not roll his top hand on that one. He just hit it toward the end of the bat. He hits it toward the end of the bat. And he rips it down into the corner. The one he hit the shortstop, he rolled his top hand, and that's why he had that top spin on it and almost hurt Guillen. But that one he just extended well, but it was out toward the end of the bat.
Now here is Langford. He's been so hot. 19th double of the year for McGwire. You know, McGwire has more home runs than he has singles.
He does. I mean, he just hits a lot of home runs. I mean, that's basically what he does.
He's got 54 homers and 51 singles.
And for a guy that hits a lot of them, but he doesn't hit a lot of doubles, as you mentioned, at 19, that's not a lot of doubles for a power hitter. And he doesn't hit a lot of triples. I don't think he's had a triple for a couple of years.
This is where Bob Carpenter's sitting, Joe.
So he got good extension. He just got that toward the end of the bat. That's why it didn't carry all the way into the, seats down there.
That kid there, he was calling for it.
Well, when he first left his bat, he probably thought that's where it was headed.
Here it comes, Dad. 2-0 the count to Langford.
And he probably said, how much is 55 worth?
That little kid did not say that.
Well, his dad
He wants the ball, and he wants to put it on his dresser.
I think his dad was wondering, man, what can we get for number 55? Or maybe I was just telling you what I would be thinking.
Yeah, well, we know what you'd be thinking. 2-1 the count. McGwire at second. DeShields at third. Big spot here for Millwood to try and keep control of this game. It is 7-2. And that will cut into the lead. DeShields scores. Here comes McGwire. Andrew Jones makes a wild throw in, allowing Langford to go to second base. And it is 7-4 Atlanta.
Well, John, I'm going to differ with you there. That is not Andrew Jones' fault, although he's taking the blame. They did not have a cutoff man there. Somebody has to get into the cutoff position. Chipper Jones, you'll watch here when he throws the ball in, he keeps the ball down. There's no one there to cut it off. Now, where's the cutoff man? Watch, he keeps the ball down. He doesn't throw it all the way in. There's no one there. There's no one there to cut it off. Where's the cutoff man? Chipper Jones should have been there to cut him off. He knows that he should have thrown to second base, but his normal reaction is to throw the ball home. And there should be a cutoff man there.
Ryan Gantz. So it is 7-4. We're only in the 5th inning.
He definitely knows that he probably should have thrown to second base, but someone has to get in this. He's saying, my bad, but someone needs to be in the cutoff position. That's either your third baseman or your first baseman has to be in the cutoff position there. And no one was there.
Ryan Gantz, runner at second. On the inside corner. Strike 2 called again. He did not like that call. Well, the Braves had a 6-0 lead into the 4th, but the Cardinals got 2. Atlanta got 1 back in the 5th on Lopez home run, but now the Cardinals They've gotten 2 again. It is 7-4 Atlanta. Millwood is struggling. Ray Langford now with 49 RBIs in 51 games since the All-Star break. Slider taken for a ball, 1-2. Langford is at second. That was a single for Langford. He took second on the throw. Millwood was ready, but Gant at that moment backed away, asking for timeout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Millwood and Javi Lopez may have been in disagreement about what kind of a pitch to throw there. They'll try it again. Curveball struck him out. And that's the only curveball he's thrown Gant the last 2 at bats. 7-4 Atlanta after 5.
Ah, the good old days of supermarket shopping. When nothing stood between you and your next meal. Nothing. But today, there are materials that help lock out harmful contaminants and reduce spoilage, keeping us safe and the food we eat fresh. Plastics make it possible. So now, the rest is history.
Home Depot is very serious about paint. We want to be your paint store.
We are a real paint store. You go to paint, you can get everything. You can get the rollers, you can get your paint.
You're going to need drop cloths. We've got that. You're going to need ladders. We've got ladders.
Because you can get more than just quality paint. You can get your paint. You can get all your supplies.
We can mix paint. We can color match paint. We've got everything you need to get a paint job done.
We can custom tint anything. I mean, you could bring in your shirt and we could match your shirt.
We have the products and the product knowledge that the paint stores have, if not more of it.
The High Life man knows that if the pharaohs had duct tape, the Sphinx would still have a nose. We salute you, duct tape. You help a man get to Miller time.
Wendy's Chicken Caesar Pita is filled with fresh vegetables and chunks of chicken wrapped in warm, soft pita bread. Finally, something so delicious, you feel so good about eating. Wendy's fresh stuffed pitas feel good.
It's a win-win situation.
There's this college team I practice with to stay in shape. Each one is out to prove that they can hit the Rhine Express. I'm out to prove they can't. Right there. After a day of fastballs, it's Advil for me. Nothing has shown me that it works better or lasts longer than Advil.
For sore muscles, more doctors recommend Advil than any other pain reliever.
I love that sound.
Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
This is Dave Revson in our Sunday Night Baseball studios back to L.A. Mets up 2-0 in the 5th. Masato Yoshii hasn't won on the road since May 27th, cruising along until Eric Young singles there. Mark Rude's Atlantic Tom Prince score. 37 RBI now for Young. We're tied at 2. Diamondbacks at Brew Crew, Arizona, up 1-0 in the 3rd. Guys?
John Frascatore delivers ball 1 to Tony Graffinino. This is the 6th inning. Atlanta coming up, leading 7-4. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Frascatore in his 2nd inning of work. High pop-up. Delino DeShields. Graffinino is 0 for 3.
Let's take a look at the play that on Andrew Jones. Now, it's easy to say that he should have thrown the ball to second base, but watch what happens here. And watch where the defensive players go. Chipper Jones goes to Chipper Jones goes over to third base. Ozzie Guillen standing here. Look at Andre Galarraga. Somebody has to be in here to be the cutoff man, because his job is just to keep the ball down and somebody to cut it off. What happens if McGwire falls down running and he hasn't thrown the ball toward the plate? So someone's supposed to be in the cutoff position, and they did not get there. I mean, he took the blame, and maybe he feels that he should have thrown to second base, but his job is to throw it low enough so that somebody can cut it off.
Ozzie Guillen, and that is just barely foul. Ozzie is flied out to shallow right center, and he is lined out to left center, where Ron Gant made a beautiful play to rob him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Guillen is 0 for 2. Walt Weiss plays most of the shortstop, but Guillen been a handy pickup for this ball club after being released by Baltimore earlier this year. And he's played second base and third base this week in games. He's thrown out by DeShields. Out number 2. When Chipper Jones was hurting the other night, Guillen played third base for Chipper. And Thursday he played second base in place of Keith Lockhart, who has a tender hamstring. Now he's in there tonight for Walt Weiss, who also requires an occasional day off. Kevin Millwood. Mark McGwire comes over and runs out of room.
John, we had a shot of Bobby Cox there. You know, I think Bobby Cox is one of the most underrated managers in all of baseball. I mean, the guy does a good job of handling not only his pitching staff, but handling his players. I mean, when Andrew Jones, he felt like Andrew Jones wasn't hustling, he pulled him out of the ball game, but he didn't hold a grudge. The next day, Andrew Jones was back in there.
Look at this, Kevin Millwood into the alleyway. Racing over is Langford. Millwood's going to try for 2, and he makes it with a slide.
John, you talked about his hack, and the guy lines one to left center field.
Oh, no, you said he hacked.
Well, you said he couldn't hit.
That's right. Well, just get it straight. Keep our insults straight.
Well, he ripped this ball to left center field. And remember, Langford's playing him around to right because they don't think he can pull the ball. He has a long way to go, and he does pull it. Well, the pitch was supposed to be away, and it was in. And Millwood rounds the bag. He says, hey, I might need this extra run. I better hustle on into second base. And he gets there.
Now Gerald Williams facing the right-hander Frascatore. Slider for a strike. Frascatore is in need of a strong outing. The last time he pitched before tonight, he gave up consecutive home runs to the last 3 hitters he faced in the 9th inning of that game with Florida. And to be a reliever in the Cardinals this year means to be a beast of a burden, because, I mean, Tony La Russa has gone to that bullpen early and often most of the year. The starting pitching has not done very well. 2 balls and a strike now. There is El Presidente Dennis Martinez warming up in the Atlanta bullpen. I'm sure that this looked like a simple night for the Braves. They were ahead 6-0 in the 3rd inning. But now we're in the 6th inning, and it is only 7-4. The Cardinals have scored 4 runs without hitting a home run. Big Mac has not gone deep tonight. He has walked, singled, and doubled. I guess based on that, Joe, he's progressing toward the home run. 3-1 the count to Williams. He is 2 for 3 in the game. And he walks. That puts 2 men on with 2 men out, and it brings up Greg Colbrin, right-handed hitter. 7-4, Atlanta leading in the 6th inning. Now Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, goes out to talk to Frascatore. Suddenly, with 2 down and nobody on, Millwood hit a double against him, and now Williams has walked. Coming up, the Phoenix Mercury and the Houston Comets. 8 Eastern on Tuesday. It's game 3 of a best-of-3. Series tied at a game apiece. Phoenix won the first game. Houston won game 2. Phoenix is coached by Cheryl Miller, and Houston is the defending league champion. The Comets' Cynthia Cooper won her 2nd MVP this year. The WNBA Championships Tuesday on ESPN. Soaring pop-up by Colbrin and Lino DeShields. Colbrin is 0 for 4. 2 left for Atlanta. Fernando Tatis coming up. 7-4 Braves.
The worst was I'd be at a party and someone would light up a cigarette, and that cigarette would look like filet mignon to me. My mouth would practically water. Without Nicorette gum, I could never have quit. I could chew a piece when I needed it, and I would regain control, and it would soothe my cravings fast. After a piece of Nicorette, a cigarette would only look like top round to me. And that, I could resist.
Nicorette gum helps you fight your cravings, your habit, your way. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
Mountain Dew, a smooth, one-of-a-kind blend of citrus flavors. Mountain Dew quenches your thirst like no other. One taste and you'll agree, it's dew-rific.
Drink Mountain Dew and you'll discover what's inside quenches like no other. A blend of citrus just for you, so smooth it goes down easy to.
Neato.
That's a classic.
Meet Frank. Meet Bill. Both men are finishing up cellular calls. Frank uses Nextel, so after the first minute, his charges end the second he hangs up. Bill doesn't use Nextel, so his charges keep going, all the way up to the next minute. Sorry about that, Bill. Get the cellular service that charges by the second. Nextel. You've never used a phone like this before.
If you like home videos, you'll love staying at Ramada. Because in addition to our personal best service, comfortable rooms, and great prices, this summer we're giving away lots of home videos. For every 5 nights you spend at Ramada, we'll send you one of these 20th Century Fox home videos, free. 30 titles to choose from. So drop by your favorite Ramada hotel, and pretty soon, you'll find a 20th Century Fox home video at your door. For reservations, call 1-800-2-RAMADA.
Sunday Night Baseball, Braves 7, Cardinals 4 as we go to the last half of the 6th inning. Coming up, college football on ABC hits prime time tomorrow, live at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. It's the kickoff classic from Giant Stadium at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. The Aggies of Texas A&M take on national powerhouse Florida State. They'll be down and dirty in those trenches in Delhi. Bobby Bowden and the Seminoles have finished in the top 4 for 11 consecutive seasons. And Keith Jackson starting his final season as the voice of college football on ABC tomorrow night.
Oh, football. Ready for some football.
Michael Tucker now in right field replacing Greg Colbert. See, I paid a little tribute to Keith there.
And you should. He deserves it.
He does. Well, as Millwood was a bit late getting back to the mound, we've got a little extra time here, and here is Bob Carpenter.
Thank you, John. Cardinal Hall of Famer Bob Gibson alongside. You played with Roger Maris for 2 years. What did he bring to that 67 club? You guys ran away with the pennant 2 straight years with him.
Yeah, I think more than anything else, he added a dimension that we just didn't have. Everybody knew about Roger and how he was capable of hitting home runs and what have you, but I think that they forgot the fact that he was right at the end of his career. And just the mere fact that he was in our lineup, it changed their way of thinking as far as the opponents coming in. And they pitched to us a little differently. They played our ball club a little differently just because he was in the lineup.
Bob, we all know it's a different era for pitching. Galarraga stepping in. He's hit 2 homers. How would Bob Gibson pitch to him right now?
You mean Andre Galarraga? Well, Galarraga is a guy that has an open stance, and he dives into the ball. First of all, if you're going to try to pitch him inside, you better have some pretty good giddy up on the ball. But I would pitch Galarraga inside, and I wouldn't be concerned about throwing strikes. I throw him inside strikes.
That's Tatis heading for third as the ball got away. And John Miller, a footnote on those 67 Cardinals. One of the reasons Roger Maris and Mike Shannon were such good friends, a young outfielder moved to third base to create a spot for Roger Maris. That young outfielder was Mike Shannon.
All right, Bob, thank you. And thanks to Bob Gibson, Fernando Tatis getting one past Andrew Jones, who looked a little surprised there, Joe.
Well, he relaxed because I think he thought the ball was going to take a big hop, and you can see it skidded away from him, and then he tried to make a dive to knock it down, and it went past both he and Tucker. But he should have been able to cut that ball off, but he seemed like he just thought it was going to be a routine play.
So Kevin Millwood, who once had a 6-0 lead, now it is only 7-4, and after the triple by Tatis, he's headed to the showers. We've got a pitching change. We'll be right back.
When some people have allergies, they sneeze a lot. Others get an itchy, runny nose or nasal congestion. Me, I had it all. So I said to my doctor, enough already. He prescribed Flonase nasal spray.
Multi-symptom Flonase. Once a day relieves all nasal allergy symptoms all day and all night long. For any or all of those nasal symptoms,
All it takes is Flonase.
For best results, Flonase must be used daily. Maximum relief may take several days. Side effects are generally mild and may include headache, nosebleed, or sore throat. Call now and you'll get a $5 savings, valuable information on Flonase, and our free allergy newsletter in the fall and spring. So you'll know how to deal with your nasal allergies and feel better all year round. Even kids as young as 4 can use Flonase. For nasal allergy relief, ask your doctor about multi-symptom Flonase.
When you get it all it takes is Flonase.
Do you need a Visa credit card? If you can say yes to these minimum requirements, we'll say yes to you. This is a special opportunity to get an unsecured Visa credit card with no security deposit required, even if you've been turned down before and regardless of your past credit history. Almost everyone will be approved for this Visa credit card, so call now. Repeat, if you can say yes to these minimum requirements, we'll say yes to you. Say yes to this limited no-risk offer for an unsecured Visa credit card from Cross Country Bank. Call this toll-free number now.
Bristol students are serious football fans, and they can get pretty upset when things don't go their way. There was no darker day in Bristol's history than when the Broncos changed their uniforms.
NFL Countdown, Sundays and Mondays starting September 6th on ESPN.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball is brought to you by Rogaine Extra Strength for Men. And that is the new statue that was unveiled this afternoon here in St. Louis before the ball game of the Hall of Fame broadcaster, the great voice of the Cardinals, Jack Buck. And in that familiar pose, and they also passed out medallions to everybody in attendance here at the ballpark tonight. Jack Buck then spoke to the crowd before the game. Jack Buck and his son, Joe Buck, also a broadcaster for the Cardinals and working there with Mike Shannon, was the master of ceremonies for the unveiling before the game and also the ceremony they had inside the ballpark just before the start of the game. And Joe Buck, one of the outstanding broadcasters in the game today in his own right, will be working the World Series come October. Dennis Martinez on to pitch with a 7-4 lead for the Braves. A runner at third, nobody out. Millwood lasting only 5 innings plus. Not as stiflingly hot here in St. Louis as it was the last time we were here, which wasn't so long ago, but still hot and humid here in Atlanta nonetheless. And there is Fernando Tatis at third after his triple, his second as a Cardinal, and Luis Ordaz will try and get him home now. The middle infielders are back in normal depth. They're pulled in at the corners. And there's ball one. On deck is Placido Polanco to pinch hit for the pitcher. There's Polanco. The Cardinals right in this ball game with Atlanta. Now we get a look at that Atlanta bullpen, which is a little bit short-handed tonight. They've gone to that bullpen a little more than usual here this weekend. Hot fly. That's not what Ordaz had in mind there. Caught by Guillen. And Ordaz does not get Tatis home.
And that's one of those situations. All he has to do is hit a ground ball or a deep fly ball. And pop-up's the last thing they needed.
Brings back to Mike Shannon talking about Roger Maris when he was here. Maris saying he only had to get 75 RBIs a year because he'd get another 25 runners at third, less than 2 out, just hitting a ground ball to short or to second. Here is Placido Polanco. Polanco hitting .247 in 81 at bats. We're a Cardinal up for the minor leagues. Pinch hitting here for Frascatore. Coming into this ballpark to face the Cardinals this year, doesn't matter whose staff it is, you're going to have to go deep into your bullpen. You're here for a few days. That's a base hit for Polanco. Tatis does score now, and it is 7-5 Atlanta.
Well, Chipper Jones was playing way in on the grass, protecting against the bunt. You see where Chipper Jones is. He's way tight, so that limits your range. He doesn't have time to react and move to that ball. And the Cardinals get another run.
And the run charge to Kevin Millwood. Tom Lampkin hit 2 fly balls, one very deep into right center. There's more bullpen activity going for Atlanta, by the way, as well as for St. Louis. There is Norm Charlton, the veteran left-hander, up for Atlanta. And a called strike to Lampkin. It is 0-1.
You know, Dennis Martinez, when he was younger, had good fastball, but he had a great overhand curveball. And he doesn't throw the curveball nearly as much now as he did when he was younger. He tries to use it to finish off the hitter rather than to get 2 strikes or get ahead in the count.
That was ruled a swing on appeal. Third base umpire Sam Holbrook. Sam is antagonizing these fans again.
Let's take a look and see. Well, Sam's right again. And he thought he was right yesterday.
33 years old. His first year as a regular everyday National League umpire. The third could be 2. Chipper Jones to second, 1. Graffinino to first. Pulled out by Galarraga for a double play. Nicely handled there by Galarraga. And over at second base, Polanco is in pain. 7-5 Atlanta. Chipper Jones, then Galarraga coming up.
Come along. Mailman, it's been a long time. Whoa! Mailman! You grew hair!
That's right. Couldn't have done it without my Rogaine.
The new Rogaine Extra Strength for Men. It's concentrated. It gets more to the root to grow 45% more hair than the original.
Nice rebound. Carl, sign my Rogaine?
The new Rogaine. 45% more hair.
It delivers for me.
This is life. This is getting every mile you can out of life. And this is how you get there. Kelly Charger high-performance tires are engineered for long mileage. Of course, that's no guarantee you'll live harder or go farther. Just an invitation.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
That's a Sony Handycam, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can record for 12 hours with that, can't you?
Yeah.
Why would anyone want to record for 12 hours?
Why? So you don't miss anything.
Oh. Oh, yeah, they're hilarious, aren't they?
Yeah.
Record for up to 12 hours on one battery with a Sony Stamina Handycam camcorder. Get a free anorak jacket with a purchase of...
Who's gonna break Maris's mark and hit 62 out of the park? The race is on. Keep your eyes on the ball. McGwire. Sosa. Griffin. They've got their eyes on the ball. Baseball history is in the making. Who's gonna crush 62 before the season is through? It could happen at a ballpark near you. Don't miss a home run. Don't miss a minute. Keep pace with the race. Log on to MajorLeagueBaseball.com.
Sunday Night Baseball. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan. Braves 7, Cardinals 5 as we head into the late innings. And a new pitcher has come on for St. Louis. Placido Polanco, by the way, seems to be fine. There is Mark Petkazik, the third Cardinals pitcher of the game. And he'll get the baptism under fire, just as did his predecessor, John Frascatore. The first batters that he will face will be Chipper Jones, Andres Galarraga, and Javi Lopez. This threesome has combined for 102 home runs this year, including 3 tonight of the 4 the Cardinals or the Braves have had. Chipper struck out, walked, and flied out. He's 0 for 2. Frascatore with 2 innings, allowing 1 run and 2 hits. That's a foul back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Galarraga, 2 homers. Andrew Jones, a homer. And Javier Lopez, a home run for Atlanta. There's Galarraga, 2 homers and 4 RBIs for him. High in the air to right. Jordan started in, drifts back, got plenty of room. One down, and here's the big cat. He led off the second inning against Donovan Osborne.
It's a slow curveball that he hits out. It's on the seat back there in the bullpen, and then he got a high fastball, and he really put a charge into the fastball. It was a line drive, almost straightaway center field.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. He flied out to left center his last time, and that one runs back in there for a called strike. The Braves trying to make sure they end up with the best record in the league. The team with the best record will get the home field advantage through the playoffs. And this year, the format is different. That first best of 5 will start with the team who's got the home field advantage with 2 at home for the first time. Then 2 away, and a 5th game if necessary back at home. It's been the team that's supposed to have the advantage playing 2 on the road to start the best of 5 and then 3 at home.
Well, I think that's the best move that they have made in quite some time as far as the playoffs is concerned, is to reward the teams with the best record. And I think that keeps you playing right to the end. I mean, the Padres are still chasing the Braves for the best record in the National League. The Astros feel they still have a chance. And Bobby Cox knows that he has to keep pushing, because otherwise he may rest Chipper Jones a little bit more, because Chipper's bad knee wants to give him more rest down the stretch, but he has to be aware of the standings.
That was a tough sinker from Kaiser, and Ordaz throws out Galarraga. Speaking of the Braves, with some wild card update, here's Dave Repson.
All right, John, we pick it up in the bottom of the 7th inning. Game tied at 2. Tom Prince ripping the double brings home Adrian Beltre and Mark Ruggielanic. 2 runs in the inning. L.A. now up 4-2 on the Mets, in jeopardy of dropping even with the Cubs in the wild card race.
All right, and there's ball 1 to Javi Lopez. If the Mets won the wild card, then the Braves, even if they had the best record, would not face the wild card in the first round.
And that's something I think needs to be changed. I think if you have the best record, you should play the wild card team, no matter if they're in your own division or not. I don't really understand why it makes a difference if they're in your own division. I mean, if they win the next round, 2 rounds, you still have to play them.
Deep third. Tatis. Wow, look at that arm. Javi Lopez retired for the first time tonight, and Ben Kaiser sets them down in order. Top of the order coming up. DeShields, Jordan, and Big Mac.
You see a business deal. At Sprint, we see data. Data that lays the groundwork, that allows people to collaborate. It's the sharing of information that helps build business. And with Sprint Ion, our integrated on-demand network, we'll soon be linked together with even greater ease, flexibility, and power. Because business runs on data, and data runs on Sprint.
What can service merchandise do to enhance your McDonald's Happy Meal race car collection? Turbocharge it.
Race into service merchandise for our exclusive limited edition Bill Elliott Racing Team set. Get your Ronald McDonald Gold Edition car, transporter, and display stand. A must for racing fans of all ages. Just $14.94. Or bring the $3 coupon on special McDonald's bags and get the set for just $11.94. Only at service merchandise.
My advice, get the service merchandise soon, because this offer's going fast.
Ursus Arctos man, grizzly bear, about 1,200 pounds. Try and act confident. Show your teeth and snarl. It should trigger his flight instinct. If that doesn't work, walk directly up to the bear and box him on his ears.
Are you a forest ranger?
No, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Philips introduces the CD recorder, the revolutionary way to make a CD as unique as you are.
Drip, 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 water on my brain.
Dave Revson in our Sunday Night Baseball studios in case you missed it earlier today. Cubs and Rockies, first inning, Sammy Sosa, 2-run homer off Darryl Kyle, 482 feet. Cubs win it 4-3. Back to John and Joe in St. Louis.
Thanks, Dave. And Sammy Sosa and his teammate, the young phenom Kerry Wood, will be guests on Up Close. That'll be Tuesday at 6 Eastern on ESPN, 3 Pacific time. Now the Cardinals, last of the 7th. Dennis Martinez to Delino DeShields, and there is ball 1. A couple of former Montreal Expos going at it head-to-head here. One-time ace right-hander, the Expos, against the man who hit leadoff. Delino DeShields now hitting leadoff here in St. Louis. He is 2 for 3 in this game to score a run. 44,051 is the official paid attendance at Busch Stadium tonight. Attendance here has been extraordinary, especially when you consider how poor the Cardinals have been.
But they're still exciting to watch, John, because they do put some numbers on the board. They do score some runs. They've got some really exciting players. Brian Jordan, Ray Langford, Mark McGwire, Delino DeShields. I mean, they've got some good players.
It's a fun team to watch, but let's say Big Mac had 34 homers right now.
Yeah, they'd probably be a little below that.
I think you and I we could have found us some box seats down there somewhere for this one.
And we talked about the home run that Sammy Sosa hit today. Let's take a look. Here's Sammy Sosa's backtrack from Wrigley Field, and there's 93 miles an hour. His swing is a little longer than McGwire's and Griffey's and Bond's, guys that have registered high numbers. So that makes his speed a little slower because he has a little longer swing. But Sosa has tied McGwire today, as we mentioned, his 54th home run.
A little longer swing, but just as many home runs. And there's ball 1 to Brian Jordan, who's 0 for 3.
John, you know, today Doug Holmes was wondering, he says, if Sammy Sosa passes McGwire, will McGwire still get all the attention and whatever? I believe he will. And it's not about numbers. It's about the fact that he hits the ball so far, and fans are enamored with that, how far he hits the ball. I mean, I don't think it's so much about numbers with McGwire as it is the distances that he hits the ball, like Big Mac lands his. I don't think there's anything here that says, you know, the Band-Aid where he hit the ball off of the Band-Aid. He's hit the wall in center field. The backdrop, I should say.
She hit the ball off the Y in that ad out there, and then the St. Louis Post-Dispatch the next day put the Band-Aid over the Y. It was injured. 2-0 to Brian Jordan. Sidearm fastball for a strike. Throw to first in the dirt, and Galarraga got a glove on it to keep it from going down the right field line.
Let's take a look at one of McGwire's swings today using the bat track. I mean, this is the ball he hit the shortstop. I mean, that was a bullet. I mean, that swing, even in slow motion, truthfully, you can see, well, at least I can from watching so many swings, that that swing was actually faster than Sosa's. I mean, you can really see it, just even in slow motion.
I could see it.
Yeah, I thought you could.
After you said that.
And he has had the recorded fastest bat speed we've recorded this year.
Yeah, 98. Base hit just out of the reach of Chipper Jones.
Well,
and it's set up nicely for McGwire. And he is the possible go-ahead run in the 7th inning.
And no place to put him. Well, this is what the fans came to see. Big Mac in a home run situation. And they have to pitch to him. He's 1 for 6 in his career against Dennis Martinez. He does not have a home run. And if you're Dennis Martinez, you think about how am I going to match up against him? I think if you're Martinez, you have to go with the curveball and try to sink the ball down and in. Because if you try to go after him and try to jam him, you're going to have a problem. Or if you just try to paint the outside corner with a fastball, you're going to have to change speeds on him and keep him off balance.
That crossfire, but missed down and away. Again, the cameras go off all around Busch Stadium. The thousands of flashes going off as the pitch was coming in. 1 ball, no strikes. 7-5 Atlanta. That one deep into center, and you can forget about it. McGwire with number 55. Oh, what a shot! The Cardinals lead. They still want McGwire to take a bow. What a scene this is. And a run into the corner. And that one is out of play. And there's the fan who caught McGwire's 55th, and he comes out and takes the bow.
John, I still can't believe that Dennis Martinez felt that he could challenge McGwire with his fastball. He didn't change speeds. He went after him with 2 fastballs, and I just can't believe that he figured he could do that.
Incredibly, it is 8-7 St. Louis. Langford in the right center. Andrew Jones. And that is the first out of the inning.
Well, he went after McGwire with 2 fastballs. He threw a fastball away, which gave McGwire a chance to gauge the speed. Now look at this, right in the middle of the plate. Fastball moves right back to the middle of the plate, and he doesn't have enough to get McGwire out with a fastball in the middle of the plate. Right there, fastball in the middle of the plate, and it's just, and as soon as he hits it, he's just trying to see, well, how far is this one going?
Yeah, it went pretty far. Ron Gant. Sinker inside, ball 1. 55 for McGwire, and this one came in a dramatic spot with his team trailing by 2. A 3-run homer to put the Cardinals ahead.
And the point was they didn't have any place to put him.
That's a foul ball.
So Martinez had to get him out. Well, that's another look at it.
Well, I mean, this one just kept going, Joe. This is exactly what you were talking about. He just hits him farther than anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, Galarraga put a charge in the one that he hit in that same area, but McGwire hits his just probably 100 feet farther, and he finally comes out for the curtain call.
I mean, that was breathtaking. We showed that last angle for all the home run connoisseurs, because it was aesthetically pleasing, a thing of beauty.
Well, it's funny, John, if you look back over the last couple of weeks, you know, Sosa has caught McGwire. This is the second time he's caught him, but each time McGwire hit a home run in the game later that evening to, you know, recapture the lead. And Sosa's never been able to pass him. He's been able to catch him twice, but he hasn't been able to pass him.
Well, I mean, he passed him during the game in Chicago.
Well, at the end of the game.
And then McGwire in the 8th inning hit a home run to tie the game. And in the 10th inning, he hit a home run to win the game.
At the end of the game, I mean, I should say, at the end of the day, McGwire has always been the leader, or at least tied with him.
Ron Gant, 1 ball, 2 strikes. But again, we've been asking it all year long. Why do pitchers pitch to McGwire?
Well, I think you have to pitch to him in that situation, John. You got a 2-run lead.
But I mean, there's pitching to him and then there's pitching.
Right. Well, that wasn't pitching to him, because to my state of mind, that fastball, he throws McGwire a lot of fastballs. McGwire's going to do that a lot of times. He's got to change speeds on him. Throw some breaking balls. Make him see a different speed. He saw 2 fastballs, the same speed, and he knows what to do with that pitch.
I mean, that pitch is about as fat as they come.
Yeah, well, that's the reason the Braves have been able to contain him in the past, that they're able to change speeds and hit their spots. Millwood doesn't have quite the control that the other starters on the Atlanta Braves had, so he's not able to, you know, so much control the edges as they are and change speeds like they are.
2-2 again. Dennis Martinez. And that's back out of play. I mean, Dennis Martinez has been around for 100 years. Right? I mean, changing speeds and hitting his spots, that's what his game's all about.
Well, that's why I speculated before he pitched to him that he was going to have to use, you know, his fastball, but he's going to have to use his curveball. He's going to have to throw his changeup, just show him some different speeds. But what he did was he went with 2 straight fastballs, and they were the same speed, and McGwire adjusted.
2-2. And that's a foul. The 6th time this year McGwire has hit a 3-run homer. Remember, he had a grand slam opening day this year. But he'd not been hitting 3-run homers of late. Of his last 23 homers, there were 19 solos and 4 2-run homers. He just hit a home run here a couple of days ago with a man in scoring position for the first time since June the 12th. It's been 2.5 months since he had hit a homer with somebody in scoring position.
Well, John, even more interesting, he has 119 runs batted in now. 94 of those have come on home runs, so he has not hit singles, as you're mentioning, with runners in scoring position or found other ways to drive in runs. He's basically driven them all in with a home run.
McGwire had hit before tonight 260 overall with men in scoring position, and 15 of his home runs before tonight have been hit with a man in scoring position. But not too many lately. That is just foul. 8-7 St. Louis. So McGwire tonight, Joe, has a single, a double, and a homer.
Don't think of the cycle because he hasn't done hit a triple in years. So, you know, don't think of the cycle.
10 years to be exact.
Yeah, okay.
He's had the longest stretch of at-bats without a triple in the history of Major League Baseball.
Another record, huh?
The last one he hit was in 1988 against Ted Higuera of the Milwaukee Brewers. Struck him out. At number 2. Bob Carpenter is out there at the spot where that ball landed with the fan who caught that ball. Bob?
Hey, John, thanks. I used to work as an usher out here. Mace is a med student from the University of Missouri in Columbia. Is the key to getting this ball getting to the bottom of the pile first?
That's right. I was the quickest to dive under the pile and quickest to the punch. Got the ball.
Your wife, Sarah's here. You going to get some new furniture, maybe a new mantle for this thing?
Only if we can get it signed.
Now, what does it mean to you really to grab number 55? This has to be really something for you.
Yeah, it's real special. We came to the game hoping. I even told Sarah I'm going to get a ball tonight, and look at that. I got it. So she owes me a lot of money now.
Guys, Mark McGwire's making an awful lot of friends this year out in the bleachers.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. That's a thrill. It's Fernando Tatis, who tripled his last time. He's 2 for 3 with an RBI. 1 ball, 1 strike. 8-7 St. Louis in the last of the 7th inning. Ben, did you see where that ball landed, Joe? That last?
Yes, I did. Up about a Coke bottle, right above the writing on the white writing on the bottle.
Well, right there beneath the Redbird. I mean, I lost sight of it until we showed that last replay. Man, that's, of course, he's hit him longer. That's not one of his longer.
That may be one of his harder ones, though.
Yeah, it got there in about 1.2 seconds. And then the ball came down, and there's our guy. Yeah, I got it. Tatis in the center. Andrew Jones. That is the inning. But the Braves, who have hit 4 homers, who put 7 runs on the board, have fallen behind on one big swing of McGwire's bat. 8-7 St. Louis.
In Denton, Texas, a lot of folks who work on their cars go to AutoZone because they know they're going to find quality parts, low prices, great selection, and good people like Tom Robinson. You see, Tom's the kind of guy who really likes to help folks out. And since he's been around cars most all his life, he knows his parts, too. Oh, sure, there are other parts stores in town. But when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice from folks like Tom, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
A thought for those of you married to your job. Every once in a while, have a fling with your wife. Royal Caribbean, like no vacation on Earth.
So, you're gonna take your act on the road, huh?
Don't worry.
Well, at Alamo, the going rate is going down.
Drive happy.
All the way down to $25 a day in Florida. And everywhere else in the U.S., just $29 a day. Is this a fun country or what? Call 1-800-GO-ALAMO today.
Don't worry. Drive happy. Drive happy now.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball is brought to you by Alamo. Renting a car should be fun, so Alamo puts you smiles ahead with drive happy deals and services. Yeah, Mark McGwire, he knew where that one was headed. I mean, he may not have known where it was going to land, but he knew it was going plenty far enough. The official estimate now of the distance of that spectacular home run, 501 feet. Now the Braves having to play catch-up in a game they once led 6-0. I mean, when have the Atlanta Braves lost a 6-0 lead in a game? Mark McGwire chasing Roger Maris. That's the 5th time this year that he has hit a home run that was estimated at more than 500 feet.
How many times?
5th. Andrew Jones against Pet Kaiser. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jones hit a 2-run homer in the 2nd. Galarraga's hit 2 homers. Lopez has homered. I mean, the Braves are crushing the ball, and it has not been enough. 1 ball, 1 strike. Off his foot. Ouch.
Well, John, it was interesting between innings. You were telling me that may be the longest home run you've ever seen in person, because, you know, a 501-foot home run, you may not have seen one that far.
I don't think I've ever seen one where they estimated the distance at 500 feet. And look at where that green wall on the right side of the picture is. I mean, the top of that wall has got to be at least 50 feet above the actual field of play. And he cleared that wall behind the center field wall. And, of course, earlier this year, he hit one up against where that Band-Aid is, against that Y. Even longer. Here's the throw by Ordaz. Wow. What a play by the shortstop Ordaz. But Andrew Jones, he's just too fast. He's got explosive speed.
That was a fine play by the shortstop. Tatis, if he comes up with it, he can throw him out. But you see, Ordaz has to lean back, get something on the throw, and he can't quite get it there in time. But Andrew Jones very quickly out of the box. He hustles down the line.
Andrew Jones also a threat to steal. He is the possible tying run. He has 21 steals and has been thrown out twice. Graffinino, the hitter. He is 0 for 3. 8-7. St. Louis is leading. Mark McGwire with a 3-run shot that just electrified this stadium. Cardinal bullpen is busy as Petkaiser works here. To Tony Graffinino. Ozzie Guillen, the left-handed hitter, is on deck. Joe Bunt takes a strike. 0-2 the count. In the Cardinal bullpen, left-handed Brian Eversgerd. He is warming up. Cardinals have had a hard time holding their leads late in games. They've lost 8 games this year that they led going to the 9th inning, which is just a huge number of losses. Teams almost never lose those games. And that's a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. By the way, Joe, 501 feet for the home run tonight. Just for the record, the ball that hit where the Band-Aid is up there, that estimate was 545 feet against Livan Hernandez, which is just otherworldly. I mean, McGwire is the Babe incarnate, right? The Babe came back in McGwire's body. I'm convinced of it.
But truthfully, the more you watch McGwire and watch all these sluggers, the more you realize how great the Babe actually was, you know, in his time.
Babe Ruth, 1927, broke his own record with 60 home runs. That's a foul. And he went into September trailing his own teammate Lou Gehrig. Gehrig had 46 and Babe Ruth had 43 homers. And they had 27 games to go in September. The Babe hit 17 in those last 27 games, and Gehrig hit 1. And Ruth won the home run title with 60 to Gehrig's 47. And they say that they didn't make a real big deal of it at the time because they thought, well, Babe will probably hit 65 next year. Or who knows, 70 the year after. Well, there's a story also about when Ruth hit number 60, the final day of the 1927 season. Came back into the clubhouse after the game and said something to the effect of, well, I'd like to see some son of a blank beat that. Well, it took 34 years, and Roger Maris hit 61. But he got 8 games more in his schedule to do that. And nobody except the Babe has ever hit as many as 60 homers in 154 games. And there are those who would consider McGwire and Sosa going after 2 records, the Babes and Maris's. And it would be certainly interesting to see if McGwire could hit 61 through the first 154 games of the schedule. St. Louis gets an extra game this year. They had the rainout with Pittsburgh earlier this week, a game that was tied and was an official game. Doesn't count in the standings, but the statistics count. They're going to play that game over in its entirety here in St. Louis in mid-September. Chasing history through 136 games. This is the Cardinals' 136th. Maris had 53. Ruth 52. Of course, McGwire and Sosa both a little bit ahead of that. And the dirt outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Johnny, you know what's interesting is that Ruth, you know, was a big guy, and you know, for his time, and McGwire's a big guy. And in the middle of all that, Hank Aaron hit 755 home runs, and he was a small guy.
Yeah.
So it just tells you that it's really skill more than anything else. Pretty big fellow right there.
I mean, Roger Maris is about 180 pounds.
Right.
Hank Aaron is about 180 pounds. Langford dives. He makes the catch, and he's going to double up Andrew Jones, who already is around second base. Andrew Jones, who himself makes plays like that all the time, was convinced that Langford could not make it.
Well, I think Andrew Jones looked and he could see where Langford was playing before the ball was hit, and it didn't seem like he was going to have a chance. Langford got a great jump on it. He dives and just barely gets his glove down underneath the ball. And he comes up, and Andrew Jones is out easily as he was around second base. Well, maybe we do know that Ray Langford's the best center fielder in the house tonight, right? That's the second great catch that he's made in this ball game.
You know, he robbed Graffinino of a home run back in the second. Now he not only robs Graffinino of his single, but he turns it into a double play. That's a foul. So Langford is putting on a show here. 2 down and nobody on in the 8th inning. Langford also had a 2-run single in the 5th that really accelerated this comeback of the Cardinals. They were down 7-2 at that time. And he got a clutch 2-out, 2-run single to center field that made it 7-4. So, I mean, Langford has driven home 2 and he's robbed them of at least one, maybe two with his glove. Ryan Klesko out on deck. He would pinch hit for Martinez if Guillen could keep the inning alive. And remember, the left-hander Eversgerd is up in the Cardinal bullpen. Mark Petkeising. Nice pickup by Delano DeShields, and the inning is over. Bottom of the order coming up for the Cardinals. Last of the 8th, 8-7.
I know, it's just not fair. You get a little older, and what happens? Your hair falls out. What is that? Your hair falls out. Is that your story? Get a little thin up there? You know you can have your hair back at no charge. That's right, there's no cost. I said free. Just call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB and receive your free booklet on how to get your hair back for free. We're the Hair Club for Men. We're not about drugs or surgery. What we are about is adding real human hair into your own. Hair that looks and feels like your own. A natural hairstyle for an active lifestyle. So call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB right now for a free brochure, your free hair, and for a limited time, an added bonus. A free vacation, 3-day, 2-night family vacation package at your choice of major resort hotels. All you have to do is prepay for a basic club plan. That's it. So make the call and get your hair back now by calling 1-800-HAIR-CLUB. That's 1-800-HAIR-CLUB.
If you're tired of handheld trimmers that strain your arms and back and are such a hassle to use, call now for free details about the revolutionary DR Trimmer Mower. It glides on 2 big wheels and this patented front-mounted mow ball. Trims where your lawnmower can't reach and mows waist-high grass and weeds that would clog any ordinary mower. So why hassle with a handheld trimmer? Call now for free details about the original revolutionary trimmer on wheels, the DR Trimmer Mower.
You play to win. Ain't no prize for second place.
A pair of possible October previews on ESPN at 7:30. Jim Edmonds and the Angels take their quest for a division crown into Cleveland, where they'll battle the Tribe. Then at 10:30, Mike Piazza and the Mets are gunning for the wild card. They'll head to San Diego, where Greg Vaughn and the Padres are gearing up for the postseason. The Wednesday doubleheader, this Wednesday on ESPN.
The world is lousy. No good. Baseball is not lousy.
8-7 Cardinals, last of the 8th. Keith Lockhart now at second base, hitting 9th, and a double switch for St. Louis, or rather for Atlanta. And the new pitcher is Norm Charlton. He'll hit in the 7th spot. Graffinino is out of the game. And our Bob Carpenter is standing by in the press box.
Thank you, John. John Vooch works for the Cardinals minor league department, but his official title is Director of Home Run Distances. John, you've got your laptop down here. How do you determine how far a ball goes?
Well, basically what we do is we take into account the trajectory that the ball is traveling, and the number we assign as an estimated distance is where the ball would have landed had it returned to field level. Obviously, most of the balls in this ballpark don't actually get back down to field level, so there's a little bit of figuring going on. What we do is we take into account where the ball hits and the distance, distance to the point where the ball hits. And obviously, McGwire's case, the ball hit a point that's about 470, 480 feet away, and it's about 20, 25 feet up in the air. So the trajectory was sort of an intermediate trajectory. It wasn't a real towering one, wasn't a line drive home run. So we used the intermediate trajectory and calculated out just over 500 feet. It's 501 feet to be exact.
Did you have to major in college for all of this?
No, actually it was one of those things that when I originally started doing it, you know, the people that they only had guys hitting home runs. You know, we had about 60, 65 home runs a year. Now we got a guy who might hit 60 by himself.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, guys, what's really scary, on his laptop, he's got what the distance would be if Mac hit one on Broadway. It's never been done before, but maybe he'll be the guy to do it.
Yeah, and if they get enough base runners, maybe he'll do it in this inning. 2-1 the count to, thanks, Bob. 2-1 the count to Luis Ordaz. 2-1. Now that's a St. Louis reference, Broadway. I mean, he wasn't talking about Broadway in Manhattan.
No, it's outside the park here.
There's Broadway. Nobody's ever hit one out there. Not yet. But it's early yet. 2-2. Mark McGwire. I mean, there are home runs and then there are home runs. There's a 500-footer when it's 8-1, and then there's a 500-footer with the club trailing by 2 and 2 men on base.
Actually, what was the one that Sammy Sosa hit today estimated at?
That way, he hit the scoreboard.
Right. I think his was 475 or something, maybe.
Maybe longer than that. That's an incredible shot. Let's get that guy's computer on that one right now, Joe.
Well, you have to take 10% off for the altitude, though.
That's true. Final score from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. The Mets have been beaten by the Dodgers 4-2, so Sammy Sosa's Cubs are now tied for the wild card lead in the National League. The San Francisco Giants remain 2 games back after their loss at home against Philadelphia today. And the standings look this way. The Mets, the Cubs, flat-footed tied, 25 games to go. The Giants 2 behind them. And the Mets remain in L.A. and the Giants will play the Phillies again tomorrow. Here is Eli Marrero to bat for Mark Petkazik. Petkazik really settled things down for the Cardinals. 2 shutout innings out of the bullpen. Cardinal bullpen is busy, so somebody else is going to come off for the 9th inning.
For the save?
For that save, yeah.
Which elusive save.
They have been elusive, to be sure. There's Juan Acevedo, who's been doing the closing here of late. He'll come on in the 9th. Marrero, catcher, takes the ball. It is 2-0. The hitters due up for Atlanta in the 9th inning would be Keith Lockhart, Gerald Williams, and Michael Tucker. They still have Ryan Klesko available off the bench. So we'll see. If they get anybody on, they got Chipper Jones and then Andres Galarraga, who also could bat in the 9th inning. 3-0 the count. And 3-1 to Marrero. Andres Galarraga. I think his name should at least be in the discussion about MVP in the league. 2 homers tonight, 42 for the year. But overshadowed, not just tonight, but all year by McGwire. Ball 4 to Marrero. A 1-out walk from Charlton. Trying to win a spot in this Braves bullpen. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Disseminated is not a word that I personally would use, Joe.
Well, why do you use it every week? Change it.
I'm just reading it.
Change it.
I'm reading somebody else's words here.
Oh, okay.
Here's Tom Lamkin, left-hander against left-hander.
John, you were, talking about the MVP rate. I think even though McGwire has been like the player of the year, maybe if you want to look at it that way because of all the home runs, I think Sammy Sosa is the most valuable player in this league at this point, simply because his team has improved with his performance. The Cardinals have not really improved with McGwire's performance, but you also have people like Moises Alou in Houston. And my personal guy, always, I think that one of these days he's going to win, Craig Biggio, in Houston. You have Greg Vaughn in San Diego. So you have a lot of people who are going to get votes. But just hitting home runs and breaking Roger Maris's record, if that happens, does not make you the most valuable player in the league.
Well, it's interesting the way you put that, though. Just doing that.
Yeah, well, it makes you the most outstanding player maybe in the league. But the most valuable player is, comes from a team standpoint.
1 strike. Well, now Larry Walker won the award last year in the National League, and his team was really never in the pennant race, although they ended up with a winning record.
Right.
Cal Ripken, back in 1991, with a team that lost 95 games, won the MVP. And Andre Dawson, with the last place team with the Cubs in 87, won the MVP.
Well,
but other than those two,
Ernie Banks won twice.
You have to go back to Ernie Banks in the 50s.
But again, this is just my opinion, which I usually give. I think, Sammy Sosa at this point has, let's put it this way, where would the Cubs be without Sosa?
And well, still at Wrigley Field, but maybe not in the pennant race,
right?
In the wild card race.
I guess it brings me to a point. I remember my second year in the major leagues. I was hitting pretty well and feeling pretty good about myself, and I was on the Astros, and we were, in the last place. And manager was talking to us, chewing us out one day, and he finally got to me and he says, "And you, Morgan, I can finish last with anybody." He said, "So your little 380 doesn't mean anything right now." So you have to put those things into perspective. But I really think that, you have to look at, what Sammy has done as far as, helping his team to a much better record than they had last year.
That's a foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, that's certainly the case. I mean, it's tough to argue with that.
Oh, yeah. But
on the other hand, how about Greg Vaughn?
Yeah, I mentioned him. I said Greg Vaughn.
But you mentioned him.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it.
Okay, but I'm saying it. Well, earlier, before pre-All-Star break, I said it was Greg Vaughn. But things have a tendency to change. And that may change from Sammy Sosa in the next 30 days.
Now, Greg Vaughn's Padres are 13 games ahead of Sosa's Cubs. That's caught in shallow center by Andrew Jones.
No, I agree with you. Well, let's take a look at Mark McGwire's home run using backtrack. I mean, look at that. That's even fast in slow motion. 99 miles an hour, which is the fastest recorded speed that we have had this year. McGwire was at 98 in an earlier ball game. And there's Dennis Martinez.
Yeah, well,
who made the pitch?
You can say for Dennis and that, he really speeded up McGwire's back.
Yeah, well, that's John. That's part of the problem. A lot of guys, they don't want to pitch to McGwire because they don't want to see themselves on Sports Center in the evening.
Sorry, Dennis, you'll be on Sports Center tonight, tomorrow morning.
When they give up those long home runs.
In fact, that one was so long, you'll be on Sports Center all week long there, buddy. Graffinino throws out the shield. So McGwire would only bat again if the lead is not held in the 9th inning. 8-7, St. Louis.
Seems I'm late for our little reception. No worries. I'm driving this new Subaru Outback. Shortcut. It's got full-time all-wheel drive, like my other Outback, so I can take it almost anywhere, like my other Outback. In fact, there's only one difference, really. Matilda. It's got this stylish rear end to go with her. Nice trunk. The all-new Outback Sport Utility Sedan from Subaru.
has the power to excite you. It has the power to move you. It has the power to take you places you never knew existed. It is, of course, your Visa card, with the power to get you a seat to Michael Tilson Thomas and the San Francisco Symphony at Davies Symphony Hall. So bring your Visa card, because you can't get in using American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
The Shell game summary. 8 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for St. Louis. 7 runs, 10 hits for Atlanta. Galarraga with 2 homers and 4 RBIs. Lopez has gone deep, but the big story, as almost always this year, Mark McGwire, his 55th home run, 1 shy of the National League record. And he passed Ralph Kiner, who had the 2nd highest home run total in National League history until tonight. McGwire's 3-run shot put him one ahead of Sosa, and also put the Cardinals one ahead of the Braves in this game. And Mark McGwire will be the subject of our Sunday night conversation on SportsCenter. Let's listen in.
Having my son being with me this year is tremendous. I mean, I know I'm chasing history, and I'm pretty close to it along with Sammy and Griffey. But it does make it easier on me when I do have my son with me.
Just part of the conversation on SportsCenter later. Charlie Steiner of ESPN sat with Mark here at the ballpark earlier today. SportsCenter coming up after the game. Sosa and Griffey. Griffey had a big day at Yankee Stadium today. NFL cut-down day, and the conversation with McGwire. There is Juan Acevedo to try and save this one now for Mark Petkazik. Keith Lockhart leads it off. A foul off the left field line. Ryan Klesko has come out on deck. Lockhart, the second baseman, entered the game in the 8th inning as part of a double switch. Jeff Brantley was supposed to have been the closer, but Brantley, coming back from shoulder surgery, and been inconsistent. And he said the biggest problem for Brantley has been really that he doesn't know from one game to the next what he's going to be able to take to the mound with him. Earlier this week, when the Marlins were in after Frascatore gave up 3 consecutive homers, it was Brantley who gave up the 3-run homer that tied the game. What a pickup by Tatis. Throws it out, and there's one away. Well, the Cardinals are playing this game as though they've still got a shot for postseason play. They've just done everything well.
Well, that's just a tremendous play by Tatis, because it's not only do you have to react quickly, but you have to move. And he did both of those things and was able to get up and throw him out.
Ray Langford has played the sensational center field. Here's Ryan Klesko, pinch hit, possible tying run. And he's got tremendous power. 16 homers this year. His home run totals are down. 276 overall average. Cardinals, after tonight, 26 games to go. McGwire now needs 7 more homers to pass Maris. Cardinals will have 25 games in the final month of the season. And McGwire, by the way, has hit at least 8 home runs in each of the last 13 months in which he has played at least 25 games. So, Joe, it continues to look more and more like McGwire will meet his rendezvous with destiny. The question is, will he meet it before Sosa meets it?
Good point.
And will Ken Griffey pull a Babe Ruth in this final month? Klesko, center field with Langford. Out number 2. Don't forget now, Chasing History coverage on SportsCenter all week, starting tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. A 5-part series on SportsCenter exclusively on ESPN. And a week from Tuesday, a classic original production, Roger Maris, Reluctant Hero. Tuesday, September the 8th, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. 2 down. Here is Tucker. Curveball for a strike. Chipper Jones is on deck. Tucker trying to keep this game alive. One ball, 1 strike. Tucker himself has some power. He has hit 12 home runs for the year. He lays off. It is 2-1. It is not over just yet. Two and 2. So now they're 1 strike away from a victory on runs that were courtesy of that man, McGwire, with a stunning 501-foot homer. Ordaz can't get it, and the Braves are still alive.
Johnny, it was interesting in a conversation I had with Tony La Russa today. He said the thing that's bothered him a lot this year is that they will have great individual performances, mostly by McGwire, where he hits a home run to put his team ahead. And then they come back and can't close out the deal. They've not been able to finish saves, not been able to close out the ball game. So I think that'll be interesting to see if they are able to close out this ball game, because he says that what happens is once you get snake bit, a lot of things seems to just snowball like going down the mountain.
Oh! Chipper Jones. This one should be playable. Tatis. And the Cardinals have won it. Cardinals win it 8-7 on Mark McGwire's 55th home run. Now he is one up on Sosa, who hit number 54 in Denver. Griffey with 2 more today, leading the American League with 47. And you see the games left for the 3. The Cardinals are now heading to Miami, and the Braves are going home for an interesting 3-game showdown with the powerful Houston Astros. Galarraga hit 2. The Braves hit 4 as a team, but they were all upstaged. Ray Langford robbing Graffinino of a homer, making another great catch to turn into a double play, but McGwire hit the big one for the win. John Miller, but Joe Morgan. SportsCenter next. Good night from St. Louis.
To chase history requires strength and determination, stamina and concentration. The question is constant, who wants it more? And in this battle, only the strongest survive. Yet it does not come without some suffering and frustration. It is a tireless search. It's bound to hit some roadblocks. But patience does pay off, and in the end, the performance is so dominating, the result will stand the test of time.
I know I'm chasing history.
And becoming legendary. The chase continues on SportsCenter, which is next.
Hi, folks, and welcome to SportsCenter with Kenny Mayne. I'm Steve Levy.
Long ball hitter Mark McGwire in the Sunday conversation. He explains why he's looking forward to the end of the season. Roger Clemens pulled off something he'd not before, and Steve Levy pulled